Please verify on your second device.
Now. Okay, there we go, yeah.
Two-factor authentication required.
Yeah. After I'd
you
already,
are no longer live.
After I'd already refreshed it just to make sure. Imagine if it then did it.
You have now been sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I would actually just shut down the PC and just go home. Today's stream is cancelled. We'll just stream off of my phone while we just walk down the street. Just be like, nope, we're out. Anyway, hello everyone. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Right, we're here. Hello.
We did it.
How goes? Yes, they've updated YouTube Studio and it's really stupid. It doesn't change the way we use it or anything. It's just one of those it's one of those design moments where it's just like, I'm going to show it off. I have to show.
Who designed this?
All right, hang on a sec. Desktop with face. Display capture. Minimize that. Okay, so here's YouTube Studio. So we've got our stream settings and stuff. But here's the thing. So notice how this preview is kind of centered, and if I just size this down, instead of moving the preview across into this empty space on the left, it just covers it up. Who designs this? Just anyway. Hi everyone. Welcome to the show. We've got a show lined up for you today.
Do you want to be a big shot?
Who wants to be a really big shot? All right, anyway. Designed by people who never have to use it. Yeah, I guess. Designed by AI. I mean, padding, and more padding is where everything goes. I said, there's a new YouTube Studio, and Caradog was just like, does it have even more padding? And I'm like, yes, it does. Anyway,
It's why I run my monitors at 100% scaling, and 200% font scaling.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's 400 pixels of padding. Your 400 pixels of padding are tiny on my 4K 27-inch screen.
Why does it hurt so much? I've been thinking about that GIF a lot lately. Okay, right.
Is it just a description of life?
Yeah. Because it was real. All right, okay. Hello, welcome to the show. We've got some stuff and things. We've got mulled beverages, including wine and cider, that Caradog has brought with him today. So we're gonna get out the we'll get out the hob and we'll have a toasty winter beverage. So that's going to be a thing that's going to happen today, and perhaps a 6 all butter mince pie. Deluxe brand. I've also got a Switch controller or a pair of JoyCons, and I've got some new sticks to put in them. This is actually my nephew's Switch JoyCons. He's got 3 pairs of JoyCons, and they all have stick drift. The last time
clearly it's a user error.
I wasn't sure, but I'm fairly certain they do.
Says Nintendo.
Yeah. Last time I was visiting family, though, we were playing Mario Kart, and I was just coming up to a corner, turn left, and the car just goes into the wall. I'm like, okay, well then. So, and I'm like, I'm gonna switch to the other set. Try those ones. Try and turn right, into the wall. Okay, So yeah,
I'm gonna use gyro controls.
I'm using tilt controls. So yeah. So I'm like, I'm taking at least a pair of these Joy-Cons and I'm going to replace the sticks in them. Merry Christmas, child. So yeah.
Oh, you say about that. Tangent of tangent.
Okay.
But Star Wars racing game. Star Wars pod racing game.
There's a new pod racing game coming out, I heard.
Yes.
I haven't looked about it. Does it look interesting? Is it just the same but modern?
I've no idea,
okay.
But it was purely the fact I was like, that's the one of a few cases where tilt controls. I'm just kind of like,
Maybe, yeah. Don't know.
Because it feels suitably detached because you're gliding over the surface in a hovercraft.
Yeah.
effectively.
That's fair.
So it's like there is no track feel.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good instance for it. Yeah, big shame that the Xbox controller just still doesn't have a gyro. Like, yeah,
I'm sure there's some sort of patent or something.
I mean, Nintendo and Sony both have gyros.
Yeah, but I'm sure. How many ways of doing a gyro are there? And has someone come up with a third way of integrating that into a controller?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I wish they would add one in, because it's so easy to add, and like gyro controls, aside from like, I'm not saying that everyone should be using that in racing games, but like if you're playing some kind of shooter or even just a third-person adventure game, like where you've got to fire a gun or a bow and arrow, having a gyro in the controller so you can do fine aim adjustments, like how it's done in Breath of the Wild, really good. Really good. So yeah. If phones can have a gyro, the Xbox controller can. Yeah, the phone isn't a game controller, though.
So wouldn't be covered by... Assuming it's some sort of legal issue. I'm assuming it's a legal issue.
Yeah. Don't know. All right. Quickly flying... Are they Hall Effect sticks? No, they're bog standard ones. I did think about getting some Hall Effect sticks, but also I think for the time... I don't think it's worth putting fancy sticks in Switch 1 Joy-Cons for the time being. Because let's face it, you know, it's Switch ones are on borrowed time at this point, you know. So I'm not that fussed about buying the expensive ones. So yeah, they'll survive until it gets replaced. What's better than a 4070 Super in VR? A 4080. Yeah, just bigger graphics card, better basically.
A 9070 XT.
Yeah.
A 5090.
Yeah. Yeah, just, yeah.
Any
more
card that's
better.
faster that has the same amount of VRAM or more. Does the 4070 Super have 16 gigabytes?
God, I hope so.
Oh no, it's going to be 12, isn't it? Because it'll be the TI Super that has 16. So anything that has 16.
Yeah, unironically, yeah, going up to a 16 gig card. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Nintendo has the Wii Remote Tech. Sony has the 6 axes. And Microsoft will probably be infringing on one or the other. Yeah, possibly.
I wonder if that's a thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's just at the right scale where Microsoft isn't big enough to be able to be like, LOL, what are your patents?
Yeah. See, it's strange.
And also on the same side, its Xbox division is too small for it to go, LOL, what are your patents?
Yeah.
I'm Microsoft.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously if you turned around and did that at Windows Enterprise scale, they'd probably turn around and go, LOL, what are your patents? I have a lawyer, and another lawyer, and a third lawyer, and a lawyer's lawyer. And my lawyer's lawyer has a lawyer.
And the lawyer has a dog who is also a lawyer.
Do you have this many lawyers?
Very well. Yes. Controlled by 2 big levers like in a Soviet tank. This would probably also work, yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you're here, Katrina.
Excellent.
Katrina sent us a box.
Fabulous. Does it have a Voodoo 1 in it?
Vorsic Glas. If I'm reading that correctly. Right. However, also it has private details on it, so I'm now going to open it in such a manner as to not dox Katrina.
I was going to say, if someone can dox it from this distance, from that camera over there,
yes,
they'll have had extreme proficiency in performing the hit from Stuttgart.
Alright, hold on.
I honestly thought for a second your address was on the box is 3B Graham Street. Hello, yes, I am Graham Lord of Shaftesbury.
Do you know who the heck I am?
I live on Graham Street in Graham House.
I am Graham and IT. I mean, wait, what? This is probably overkill, but whatever. I've made mistakes before, so I should just destroy the label, but whatever.
And here.
Hecking. I'm just going to open it off camera and lift things out of it. This is ridiculous. All right, I'm getting a knife.
For the box.
Yes, I was I was like, and a box cutter or for the box or whatever. There's a joke in here somewhere. Right, let's move this nonsense out of the way. Whatever, Adam. I was talking to someone on the phone yesterday, I think it was. I've got to figure out how to open this now. I'm going to... Which way is up? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Right. Yeah, I was talking to a customer on the phone, and so they call the shop. I answer the shop. I'm just like, hello, Adam and IT, you know. And they say, is that Adam? And I say, no, my name is Graham. How can I help? And they say, oh, I see. Oh, I thought your name was Adam. And I'm like, no, it's Graham. How can I help? And okay, Adam, so I've got this problem with my computer. We've just had a conversation about how my name is not Adam, it's actually Graham. And then they immediately and they called me Adam another 3 times in the phone call. And I'm just like, your head is empty. This is why I don't take people seriously. So, anyway. Wow, newspaper.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Ooh. There was something in the newspaper. Ooh. Oh, it's the thing. It's the... Okay, right. You're probably better at German than me, and I don't want to mispronounce... All right, you try.
I can't remember what we agreed this was.
Because I seem to remember that...
Grubenführer?
Yeah, Grubenführer, yep. Or Führer. It's Führer, because I was saying Führer, and it's like, no, that's something else. So yeah,
Big Brother.
Grubenführer, I think it was. Right, and then... But wait, there's more. Okay, I'm getting overwhelmed by newspaper.
How do I handle all this news? Oh, there's so much news.
Aha, but wait, there's more.
Oh no, there's more. Fabulous. There is.
And I think... Right. I think we've got it all. Okay, good, yes.
I was just checking to see if anyone had told me how I was supposed to pronounce it. Apparently it's Mit Feinen Krauten.
Alright, sorry for rustling. I'm going to do some rustling and then there will be silence.
Because I will then just mute the microphones for the next hour.
Okay, right. Okay, and then also there is Gebacken mit Engelsgeduld.
Yes.
It's
Warhammer?
Weihnachtsstollen. It's Stollen cake.
It's plastic bags.
It is, but also it's an actual Stollen.
Excellent.
Proper German Stollen, none of that British rubbish. Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Katrina, much appreciated. We shall enjoy some of this.
It as you opened, looked slightly like the spiced German meat that they do in the large bend tube thing.
Oh, right.
I was like...
Do you mean sausage?
I don't know. No, because... Maybe? I was just like, oh no, it's a Stollen, never mind. I have been thoroughly confused. I've been had.
This Stollen has been stored in a mining pit. So, and hence the Grubenführer. Foyer. Is that foyer?
Apparently.
Okay.
Where was Katrina's message? There.
Oh yeah, foyer. Grubenfeuer. Excellent. So yes, we've had some of this before. We had it in like the little shot glass amounts. So yes.
Yes.
Now we have fancy square bottles. Very good.
With stoppers.
Yes. So, in the interests of like getting it correct, do we decant that into a glass and have tipples, or do you neck the glass? Neither would surprise me. The potions of resurrection. They're very cool bottles.
Oh no. I feel like you're actually supposed to just pop that off and rip the paper.
Right. Okay. Packaging, be gone.
I recommend shot glasses. Excellent.
Very well. Cool. And behold, the Stollen. Excellent.
I remember that being very dense.
Yes. Like, it is pretty dang dense.
It is also an item of self-defense.
Yes. Excellent. Right. Okay, so we have done our unboxing. We have our winter treats. So we will enjoy a bit of all of these things. So I vote we do that while I take apart some JoyCons.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I was going to say other things to do as well. I also maybe have a computer to build. But given that we've got all of these other treats to do, I vote that I fix some JoyCons while we enjoy some things.
Yes.
Would you like a glass in order to sample some?
Oh boy.
Yes, you'll never be cold. Just keep drinking that.
Excellent.
It doesn't warm you up, it just helps you ignore the frostbite.
I have limbs.
Excellent. Right. Stollen is well suited to British climate. Keeps it moist. Yes. Real. Good.
Food and defense weapon, both best of both worlds.
Good. Right. Apparently some people are having some frame drops. Is that widespread? I'm only seeing it from 2 people.
But
Maybe
also
refresh.
it could be a YouTube thing just because it's showing the YouTube viewer numbers randomly went.
Oh yeah, yeah. Our YouTube concurrent viewers has got a bunk in it. So and then it just disappeared.
Which it then debunked.
Yeah, just average that out. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe YouTube did have a bit of a wobbly.
I'm terribly sorry, Graham, but you have been debunked.
I see. Yeah, we're not going to drink all of this.
Not today.
No.
Nor tomorrow.
No. Yeah, we'll probably warm up one of these spiced things, and we'll have we'll enjoy a shot of the. Well, actually, I'm going to have a shot of the Grubenfeuer. Grubenfeuer.
The Gruben fairy.
Yeah. I'm going to have a shot of the Grubenfeuer now as a celebration of our gift.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll get a couple of glasses.
And these will be shot glasses.
Yeah.
Funny, these shot glasses are 500 mils. Was the car still there and intact last week? It was, but it did have a police notice on there saying this vehicle may have been abandoned.
Yeah. It's small town. Clearly, I rolled up in a car that other people didn't recognise, and like it had only been there for like 3 days, I think, before it was reported as abandoned. And I'm like, you can just park a car up for a couple of days. That doesn't make it abandoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, just immediately someone was just like, "Who's parked this car on our street?" Because it was a small village, you know. Right,
You're not from round here.
I'll treat you to the glass, and I will have the plastic glass.
Come off. Get off. There we go. He's off. Do you wish to be in charge of your own measure?
I'm just going to eyeball this. Good luck, everyone.
Glug, 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 glug.
How much is a shot, do you reckon? Bit more than that?
25 mils.
Thanks.
So, not a lot.
All right, I'm going with that.
I agree. Not a lot.
Given that we're also going to have something else as well. Yeah.
Oh, so what
it's quite thick, isn't it?
So what is it? Is this like a brandy?
I can't remember. It's a liqueur, I think, isn't it? So yeah. Ooh. Terrifying to close those.
Is it
Just
going?
the
Is it
neck
going?
snaps off. Yeah. Cheers, etc. Merry Christmas and stuff, even though this isn't the Christmas episode, but yeah. Hoo hoo. That's pretty stout.
It's warming.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. It's the miner's drink.
A warming, gentle burn.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. What strength actually is it again?
60%.
60%. Oh, yeah. It doesn't mess around, that stuff. Woo! All right. Graham reporting a hangover tomorrow. I'm already slightly hungover. I had like 2/3 of a bottle of wine last night.
Oh, dear.
I did stop myself from finishing.
You're making this a habit.
I am, and it's glorious. I love it. Right.
Sadly, what happens in VR doesn't stay in VR. I have to deal with it in the morning.
Real.
Suddenly, I've become very gravelly.
Phil Mitchell, Britain's artist, BBC 2, 8 PM. Welcome to Two Guys Talk Tech. We'll be sampling these drinks today. Once I finish my coffee. Oh.
What is this?
It's my Phil Mitchell impression.
What is this show?
I own this square. I can't remember what street EastEnders is on.
Just pulls out a small pocket square.
All right. Excellent. Right.
Smells kind of like Cointreau.
I don't think I've had Cointreau before.
It's very similar, just less drinkable in my opinion.
Yeah, it's is that aniseed or what? Licorice is aniseed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that kind of taste to it. I was about to read the label, but then I was like, wait, even if it says what it is, I'm not going to be able to read it, so never mind.
Ah, yes, German.
Yeah, it is German flavour. Excellent. All right.
It tastes of division and all. Anyway.
You're not allowed to say that. Anyway, Katrina, thank you very much for the gift. So yes, much appreciated. Contains aniseed and a whole lot of other herbs, some of which only grow in that one valley. Oh, fair.
That's cool.
Cool. Right, I'm going to grab the bench cam and plug that in.
Excellent.
And well, actually, I'll grab the bench cam and we'll grab all of the other bits and pieces, and I'll start taking apart one of these.
Yes.
I'm going to have some water and then politely wait for that to go down before we start doing other stuff.
I agree.
Not because we only had a little amount of that, but also, as Elbow once said, don't mix your drinks, it'll kill you one day.
Yes. We continued the odd company tradition of having Thai food as our Christmas meal, and then following it up and washing it down with black Sambuca.
Extremely festive.
Yes.
Never heard of Elbow. Old indie rock band. They did a song called Don't Mix Your Drinks. Camera. Right. Camera. Bring that around there. And I'll grab the hot plate.
Do.
Loud
Where's my invite to a phone's Christmas party?
Phew.
Well, come work for me for 72p an hour.
Okay. I dropped the lid, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to hit the ground real hard," and then I caught it with my foot, and there was a tussle, and I did a pretty sick gaming move, and just it all got pretty hectic for a moment.
And
as a special treat, I did actually clean this the last time we used it. It's got some watermarks on it, but it'll be all right.
Also, what is this exposure?
Good question, well presented. Also, we're on. It's not going into OBS though, so turn off the bring that up big. Turn off preview in the bottom left. Yeah, and then check it in OBS before you actually set the exposure. All right. Okay, right. I'll put the Stollen over here. I'll let you sort out all of this. I'm going to start setting things up. Right, what are we going to have today? Are we going to have some of the cider or some of the wine?
The cider?
Yes, I agree, because it's 5%. Not that the wine is particularly strong at 8%, but still. Specially selected. Okay, right. I'm going to put these over here for the time being.
Hey, I work for you for 0p an hour. Well, yes. Still. Make use of your friends or something.
Right. Put that there. This I'll put all of that there. I'll go and plug that in actually, just so that's ready to go. Can that reach over here? No.
Use the extension lead on the floor down there.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's a good idea. Yep. I was going to say, I think the extension lead that's in front of the streaming PC is on a different socket, but I can't remember. So I'll plug this. I'll extend this out to a wall just for good measure, because I can't remember what's plugged into what.
How do you know if they're friends if you don't pay them? Because you don't need to pay them. You don't need to pay your friends.
Good. Right. The hot plate is ready to go.
We also require the Mulled Cider thermal camera.
We do. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to do a wave that around on the camera on the
only because it was a convenient temperature measuring device.
Yes.
Not for anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'll keep that on hand and ready to go. Right. Are we going to start warming immediately?
I was going to decant.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right. I'm going to start doing this. Okay. Is our bench cam ready to go? I'll take one of these apart. We'll do that first. What will happen to the white Subaru? How much is it worth? Don't know and don't know. To be confirmed. It's not going to the scrap pile, suffice to say. Recant, heathen. For what? What did we say?
I think it's because I said I shall decant.
Oh, I see, yeah. Understandable. I was like, did we do something wrong? I'm used
to receiving abuse.
I'm used to being told I'm doing things wrong. I read YouTube comments.
You fixed it wrong.
Yeah. Okay, right. I'm going to need that. I think are these using tri-wings? Yeah, they are. So yeah, tri-wing screwdriver. And I'll probably want a Phillips. Cool. Right, let's start taking one of these apart. These are pretty easy to do.
I'd hope so, given how often you need to do them.
Real. I mean, that's the saving grace of these, is that you don't actually have to do any soldering to change out the sticks in JoyCons. So it's actually a DIY-able job. So yeah, I'm gonna probably do one of these, and then we'll do some cider, and then I'll do the other one. Right, let's see.
Excuse me. So does this actually do anything?
No.
Or is this just
It is
a bit of metal?
Just plastic and metal. It's got some light pipes in it just to guide the indicator LEDs through.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
it's not like a battery or anything.
No.
To make them run laster.
Yeah.
Run laster.
Yeah. It's just it's just a holder for them, and it's pretty good because it gives you an actual sort of like quote unquote controller when you're using a Switch in TV mode, which is pretty decent.
Does it come in the box?
Yeah, one of these comes with a Switch.
Oh, I see.
You get one of them. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's not as good as having a proper gamepad, but my nephew who owns this does actually have his own Pro controller, which he uses most of the time. But obviously, if you're taking the Switch away with you and using it as a handheld, you have to use the JoyCons at that point. Well, you're going to want to use the JoyCons on it. So even if you have a Pro controller, you never quite escape the JoyCons. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good solution though. I think it's very nifty, this thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way of trying to minimize the cost and maximize functionality of the device. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing is, I got a lot of beef with Nintendo, but the concepts behind their products aren't really, I think are pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what people do with the mouse function on the Switch 2.
Absolutely nothing is my expectation.
Yeah, but because it's there and because it's Nintendo, first-party stuff might actually do stuff with it.
We'll see, yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see if...
Yeah. Not holding my breath, but we'll see. Let's see. Someone whose name is hidden by that thing. Let's see. Peleg says, I was thinking of getting a 3D printer. What suggestions do you have? Let's see. I don't know. I don't... So firstly... So buy what you have the budget for. Get one of the name brands ones, basically. So, Creality, Anycubic, Egaway, or what's the...
Who's it? Who make the bamboo ones?
Bamboo Lab.
Okay.
So yeah, or Bamboo Lab. So buy a name brand one. Don't go for a cheap Chinese thing. Then obviously it's going to depend on your budget as to which model you get. There's usually like sort of most brands generally have a small one, a medium, and a big one. So that's just going to depend on what your budget is. They can all do the same thing more or less when you're starting out. It's just a question of size and speed. The bigger ones will probably have a bit more capability where it comes to things like exotic materials, so like ABS or carbon fiber, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't stress that because for the most part, PLA is fine, especially when you're starting out.
Is all of your stuff PLA?
I use almost exclusively PLA. Yeah. I need to sort of start dabbling in PETG, which is a better version of PLA, and then you go PLA, PETG is stronger, and then you go on to things like ABS, which is obviously like indestructible, but ABS is horrible to deal with and produces a lot of fumes when you're printing in ABS. Normally when my 3D printer is running, I don't need to worry about ventilation because the room is big enough. However, if I load up ABS into my Creality, even in this room, like as soon as you start heating up ABS, you're like, holy crap, okay, let's get doors and windows open in here,
Yeah.
So yeah. As I say, basically just one of the name brands. Bamboo Labs are probably the most faff-free ones.
Yeah,
however,
I was going to say, from what I've seen, and it's very little, but they seem to be the most packaged.
Yeah.
And the most kind of buy a thing, it works out the box. If you want it to do a different thing, you buy another one.
Yeah.
It seems to be the most Apple of 3D printers.
Exactly that, yeah. And yes, the other brands, I'm not sure where they're at in terms of sort of that functionality at the moment. Bamboo is certainly an extremely hassle-free brand, but also, again, it's they're a little bit of a closed ecosystem to an extent as well. So, yeah.
Was it Bamboo who got into hot water recently with not licensing stuff properly?
That was,
was that?
No, that was Elegoo, I think it was.
Right.
Is it Elegoo? Who's the one beginning with E? Someone help me out here. I think it's Elegoo. But yeah, they recently got into hot water because they were not. They were using open source code in their software while not providing the source code. I think they ended up just releasing. I think they just ended up releasing the source code for all of their stuff, which was kind of their only option. It was either release your own source code, or you have to refactor your entire software stack. But also, I think releasing your source code in this area isn't really the end of the world, because it's a mixture of hardware and software anyway. So even if someone looks at all of your source code, you're still just, 3D printers are not complex machines. They're a solved problem, and it is just a matter of what combination of hardware you're packaging. So yes. While we've been talking about that, as you can see, I've just taken this apart and I've just taken out the stick module. So there it is.
Is it on a little
it's just on a little
insertion force?
Yep, little ZIF connector. That's it. That's the stick module removed. That's it. Bam. So I'll put another one in. It's that simple, folks. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah. Feed broken. Already restarted YouTube. Maybe, don't know. The chat has gone suspiciously quiet. Chat, are you alive?
I'm just going to refresh Studio.
Yeah. I take it, oh yeah. Chat is alive, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, cool. Everything just went very quiet for a moment. I was like, not sure if chat's just gone quiet or there's a problem. So yeah. Good. All right. So that's my opinion on 3D printers. I am not, we're just bored. Thanks, Si. I'm alive, but I have doubts. Pinch yourself. Anyway, I'm not an expert with 3D printing, though. I'm sort of coming at this from a bit of a layman's approach as well. I'm hoping to have a look at Anycubic's new flagship soon. You happened
upon getting their washing station, didn't you? Yeah.
It's been it's been very rough communication between them, though, because I've kind of been having two conversations with two different people at Anycubic, where their general PR department has been sending me a message saying, "Hi, would you like to collab with us?" And then I negotiated a rate to look at one of their resin printers, and just as we had agreed on a rate, someone else at Anycubic replied to the comment stream and said, "Actually, we've changed our mind. Do you want to look at our new FDM printer instead?" And I was like, "Sure, that's fine with me. Don't really care if you're sending me one of your new flagships, resin or FDM. I'm okay with either. And if anything, I'm like, to be honest, I'd rather have a new FDM, because my resin printer is the GK2, which was like, when I reviewed that was an £800 printer. I'm good for resin right now, but my Creality Ender 5 is getting a bit long in the tooth. So actually, I was like, I'd like a new FDM. Thank you very much." So then I replied to that, but then I forgot to do reply all, and then I started getting messages from the PR department saying, "Hey, are you still interested in collabing with us?" And then I'm just like, "Yes, but I've already been speaking to this person," and then all the wires got crossed, and I was like, "Oh God!" And like the window for the projected, like they were looking for a release window of the 15th, which is in 2 days, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh god, this is gone wrong, you know. But then they replied and said, okay, you're already talking with this person, we'll let that conversation continue. But then I haven't heard back from them, and I'm like, so yeah.
It's okay, you can just do a reply all this evening and be like, so when are you dispatching the printer?
Yeah, so the last message I did was a reply all saying, just to reiterate, this was the rate we agreed for this product, and I can still do a pre-Christmas release if you send one to me ASAP.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I need to because I haven't heard back for a couple of days. I need to probably reply to that again and just give them a friendly poke and be like, "Are we cool? Are we going?" You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll see. It's not a sure thing yet. I'll be really upset if this falls through. But yeah, I'll be very happy to get a new one to replace my Ender 5. Because the Ender 5 has been a trooper. Don't get me wrong. But FDM printers have come a really long way in the past 2 years or so. So I'm eager to get...
That's interesting, given how kind of solved they seem when that came out.
I think the Ender 5, I got that one just as we kind of entered a new period where they all came with like full enclosures by default, and suddenly the printing speed went whee, you know. So yeah, even though my one is completely functional and does everything I need it to, new one would be like twice as fast and have an enclosure and a bigger print bed, and also it's going to have like the multicolor rack, and I'm really excited to be able to do multicolor printing.
Oh, okay. Is that a much more standard feature now?
I wouldn't, only on the high-end models.
Yeah, but sorry, in the sense of it's not something you have to build yourself. It's not saying that it's a manual process anymore. It's a it's a purchasable solution.
That's right.
That's what I meant.
This one will probably be a turnkey solution where it'll be like the Ender 5. I had to that came flat packed. You know, the new one is probably going to be just, you know, tear the box off from around it, plug it in, and start using it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. I spotted someone in the chat saying, "Could you upgrade to Hall effect sticks?" Yes, I haven't got Hall effect sticks for this one this time round, just because I just bought some on Amazon next day delivery just to make sure I could do this today. But yes, I believe that there are Hall effect sticks available for these Joy-Cons. I'm now very carefully trying to insert this ribbon cable with some tweezers, and I can't show you what I'm doing because it's just a really awkward angle, so sorry.
Hello, keyboard. Hello, keyboard.
Okay, there we go. I think I got it that time. I'm going to close this and then read the chat.
I think it broke.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Right, scanning down the chat.
What is the Hall effect?
And Winston, thank you very much. The integration on the video was nicely done. Yeah, I'm really happy with FlexiSpot at the moment. So yeah, like I had very little guidance from them, and after I published this video, I actually dropped them an email saying the first one is out. Please let me know if there's any changes you want me to do, because I owe them I'm doing 2 sponsor spots for them. And I said, please let me know if there's any changes you want, because you know I didn't receive any guidance from you, so I just simply said, this is what FlexiSpot do. Here are some FlexiSpot products that I've got and how I use them. I think that's a very genuine approach, and that's kind of how I would like to be doing these kind of spots, is just saying, yeah, these guys sent me this product, this is how I use it and what I use it for. I think it's really good, and I think you should buy one if you need it. You know, I think the FlexiSpot standing desks are great, and if people are on the lookout for a nice desk, and yeah, if you're on the lookout for a nice desk, I think the FlexiSpot options are really good. They're reasonably priced, and standing desks are really handy. So, yeah. So yes. Yeah, I was quite happy with that one as well. As I say, there'll be another one coming up in, if not the next video, then the one after that, depending on how things go. I will have a video coming out on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I don't know if it'll have the second FlexiSpot integration in it yet. We shall see.
It's okay, you can have your own merch integration in there.
Yeah, I'll do another merch push when I actually get around to getting another design up, which is in the works.
I think just passively mentioning it once every couple of months is not egregious.
That's
whether
true,
you
yeah.
have new designs or not.
Yeah.
And just kind of a case of, hey, I now have a merch store. I know I was talking about it for years, but it's real.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Certainly for people who maybe only pick up 1 in 10 videos.
Didn't put the antenna in.
Something, look at what's on the desk.
Yeah, yeah, real. Yeah, this happened last week with that bloody PS5, didn't it? Yeah. Don't look at what's in the thing, look at what's left on the desk.
Yeah.
Screaming and crying.
I'd be interested to see if you actually managed to get a sponsor read with Nord or
yeah, those ones
Proton
went
or
quiet. So yeah, I didn't get a straight answer. I don't think I didn't see a response from them saying that's out of budget or anything, which is code for no, you're too expensive. But at the same time, it just went cold. I did reply to both of them. I followed up with both of them, and just the lead went cold, which is a shame. Because obviously at the time when I was following that up during November was the month of no monetization. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but still having one at any time is obviously...
Yes, I would still like to pursue that. I did get an email through from some other VPN that I hadn't heard of, so I'll probably I'll have a check into them and I'll send them my rate. Because, I do still want to do I mean, I need a VPN, in general at the moment.
I certainly think it's worth you if you get Nord. I think if you get Nord again, it's worth doing that at a cheap rate by comparison, because the brand name has reasonable buying power and you can put the link in your video descriptions.
Yeah.
And just get the passive on that. And you'll be more likely to get a passive on that than you would with insert generic VPN provider here.
That's it.
So it's a case of it's worth taking a slight cut on a rate, I think, and doing that.
Yeah, even if I do the sponsor spot for cheap, if it's a recognised brand, I may end up making the money back in affiliate revenue rather than the upfront sponsor thing. So yeah.
Or if Proton actually do reach out for their VPN and mail service, because again, we know that Proton are focused on
I'll probably
doing the best they can with being
I'll follow up on Proton because as I say, I have mixed. I'm going to separate the politics a little bit because I think the guy who owns Proton is a bit of a dickhead. However, his product and his service is good. So if we separate his politics from his product, then I'm like, you know what, that's fine. You know,
the product's certainly a half decent product.
Yeah, that's it. You can have your hot take, but your product is helpful, kind of thing.
Is it Mulled or something like that? That's a VPN brand as well.
Pass.
Also, every now and then
Retro News says, genuine question, is there a huge benefit to a normal PC user getting a VPN? What's the use case? Well, up until recently, I have not ever used a VPN. You know, that's one of the reasons why I've been resistant to shill for one, because I don't use one. And for me, it's hard work to shill for something that I don't believe in enough to use myself. However, in the UK at least, with and also just across the US now, having to identify yourself on the internet, basically age identification has become a big thing. And the problem is that this is not even a matter on whether you're looking at porn or not. Like, if I want to look at adult content, I've got to provide ID, which I don't really want to do. But also, even if I'm not looking at porn, like right now in the UK, IMGO is just blocked. IMGO said, we can't be asked to enforce identification. We're just blocking the UK. I cannot see anything hosted on IMGO from the UK without seeing a big content is not available in your region response. And that means that when I'm browsing, like, for example, if I go to Reddit, and I go to a Reddit that's an 18 plus one, just because they're just like, yeah, people swear on this Reddit now and then, but I'm going there for resources for games or something like that. Like, I don't know, I go to the Warhammer Darktide Reddit, and because it's a violent game, it's an 18 plus Reddit, I have to provide my ID to go there, for example. And like, if people are sharing screenshots of builds, the screenshots are hosted on Imgur and I can't see them. Yeah. You know, so suddenly now I need a VPN to look at that content, and I'm not even trying to look at porn at this point, you know. So suddenly having a VPN has suddenly had a big use case, and America right now is having sweeping ID checks going across their states. I think it's, you know, only sort of 2 or 3 states, but a lot of the conservative leaning states are all swinging in that direction. So we're coming to the point now where VPNs are becoming relevant just if you don't want to provide your ID to every single sodding website you want to look at. Yeah. You know, like, you know, I've done the ID check for Discord and for Blue Sky, but that's because I look at those websites all day, every day. And I'm like, you know what, fine, I'll just do it. But like, I don't want to go through this song and dance for every website I visit. But that's the direction that we're going in right now. So suddenly a VPN is becoming extremely relevant to resist that. So so that's for that reason, I think VPNs are becoming relevant. That's my state there. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the follow-up to the online safety wankery?
No. So follow up to the Online Safety Act. Like,
yes.
What was the follow up from who about what?
The House of Lords have proposed a follow up to it, banning VPN protocols for under 16s.
So 17-year-olds are allowed to use VPNs to look at porn. Is that what we're saying? What about 16? You say under 16, so 16-year-olds are allowed to use VPNs to look at porn, are they? You know.
But it's also the fact.
Pray tell, how are you going to enforce a VPN ban? Because like a lot of the US states are talking about banning VPNs. I'm like, no, you can't ban VPNs. People need that for legitimate reasons, for all kinds of legitimate reasons, including work. You know, you can't ban VPNs. It's like, you're now talking about a level of censorship above China. Are you doing that? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Russia as well. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. But yes. And it's just like, I see these are people who know nothing about anything.
Yeah. It's a series of tubes. Yeah. And just, it's very frustrating. I am happy to have a conversation about how we can stop children from seeing Elsagate again and stuff like that. You know, I can fully accept that porn appearing on the internet in places where it doesn't belong, you know, like Elsagate was a real thing, a real problem, where it's just like, that's really weird, man. It shouldn't be here. I don't care what you're into, but it shouldn't be here being presented to kids. You know, there is a problem that needs to be addressed, but the proposed solution, that ain't it.
Yeah.
You know, however, just the people who are making the rules don't understand how the internet works at a fundamental level.
The part of the problem is it's how the monetization works.
Yeah, that's how it all goes. And like, honestly, I'm not going to drill into this too much because A, I can't be asked, and because B, it's complicated. Yeah, it's how the monetization works. This goes deep. You know, there's incentive structures here that we need to drill into, and you know you know, like for example, Quentin is just like, oh, it's a parenting issue. That's part of it. You know, there should be a level of supervision, but also the content shouldn't be on YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
At all.
It's like, I think this is the conversation we've had, is a case of the fact of it's very difficult for us viewing it when obviously we were unrestricted in our access to the internet as kids growing up, but it was also a case of
the internet was not the same.
We lament how the internet is not the same.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Letting kids of today loose on that internet would be fine.
Yeah, that's the wacky thing.
Not be a problem.
Our generation, the millennial generation, is the best generation equipped to deal with the internet and computers. I have big opinions. Well, I say big opinions. I think a lot about that whole thing, that millennials are the only generation that know how to use computers.
Yeah,
I think about that a lot, because the more you think about it, the more it makes sense, and the weirder it is, and the more conversations that statement sparks.
yeah.
And so theoretically, we should be the best parents, but also we're like, but no, the internet is not remotely the same as how it was when we grew up on it, unrestricted.
Yeah.
So no, despite the fact that we're now seeing the second generation to grow up with the internet, they're growing up with a completely different internet. So no, we don't actually know how to deal with this, you know.
And it's like the internet we grew up with unfiltered access to was forums about people who were passionate about sharing knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. It's whack, man. It's whack.
And it's just like, yeah, but also something September never ends.
Real. Yeah. 61-year-old here who disagrees that millennials are best suited to the internet. I do say to, like, a lot of customers come in, they say, oh, my generation doesn't, I'm too old for these things. I'm like, madam, your generation invented these things.
Yeah.
You know, but also not really. Some of you, you know, the people from your generation invented these things. That doesn't mean that you guys know how to do it. So that's, when I say the millennials are the best generation equipped for tech, that's not to say that they're the only generation that can deal with tech. But like, if we look at it on averages, the percentage of people and stuff like that, millennials were at the correct point of the wave for the highest percentage of them to be tech savvy, I think. But also, though, again, this is a really complicated and nuanced conversation, and I'm not trying to make any kind of absolutes here. I'm not saying that just because you're not a millennial, you do not understand tech in the way that millennials do.
Yeah. I think it's also borne out kind of in the way that, you know, kind of the peaks in social media usage and so on. And just kind of the things that, the solid age banding on certain things. And just, yeah, the thing that blew me away, hearing about young people wanting to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
And like how we never thought that was going to be a thing.
Yes.
I just assumed that Facebook was going to die when, you know, the 50-year-old mum sharing Minion memes died out.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed that Facebook is actually still relevant with young people, but
Yeah.
also, though, that's just that's complicated as well, because I don't know. Nah. Should we all join TikTok now that our PM is on it? Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, I've not seen any of the stuff from there, but like the stuff that I have seen on there from individuals being on TikTok has been very good kind of 3-minute explainer videos of today in X, last week in Y.
Okay, that's good, yeah.
Bill proposal Z kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like those videos and stuff, and I've just been like, this is really good.
Okay, that sounds good, because like if the government and or politicians are being on social media, they should be on social media as communicators explaining what's going on, because that's their job, you know. I was just comparing the amount of play in the old one to the new one. The new one's got a little bit of play in, so, you know. Anyway, but yeah, what I don't want to see is politicians just like doing memes on social media, because I don't think that communicates anything useful. Like, it's trying to make them seem relatable, but I'm like, we don't need you to be relatable. We need you guys to explain and inform. And I don't think relatable memes actually do that. But I don't know. I'm kind of trying not to... I'm trying I'm kind of trying not to just sit here and whinge, you know.
Yeah, certainly what I've seen of it has been good explainer stuff.
Yeah, that sounds positive. Yeah. I think anytime you're putting content onto the internet, I think you've got to be asking yourself, is this improving or helping someone in some way? And yeah, I think you know, whenever you're, you know, because this is the problem with the internet. There's so much noise on the internet. There's so many people putting in their 2 pence, and like, while I fully agree that everyone has the right to voice their opinions and everything, I think you should be asking yourself, am I adding something to the conversation here, or am I just background noise? You know, what am I bringing to the table here? Am I bringing insight to this by either asking interesting questions or providing more information, you know? Right.
Boosting the charges.
I was going to say, I heard a clink from over there and just suddenly I was like, I'm in a room. Anyway, I don't know what that meant. Okay. Facebook Marketplace good, Facebook meh, mediocre. Yeah, kind of agreed. I don't use Facebook Marketplace, but that's kind of the one reason why I don't think Facebook can be written off, because Marketplace is a useful resource, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's local, it's effectively local sales. And it's one of the few places that are sort of viable for local sales.
Yeah.
Because yeah, on eBay, like you can do collection only on eBay, but my guy, no one's buying your stuff on eBay if you're collection only. For the most part, anyway.
Yeah, you would have to be in like London, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Middle of Manchester, kind of thing.
Yeah. Pyro asks, how's the mulling going? It's not. We were supposed to do it between these controllers.
It's okay. Luckily, we have a turbo mode. It's Mulled now.
Actually, it's max mode. Max powers. That's a good strong name. Thank you. I got it from a hairdryer. Cool. Right, we are now mulling the cider. Apparently. Right, I'm going to quickly zap these screws in, and then we've got to get the thermal cam action cam. What have you set that to? 1.
1.
Yeah. I can't remember. I seem to remember I think like we wanted it on like 2 or 3 previously, so that should slowly start warming it. Yeah.
The noises it makes are fractionally concerning.
Look, as a friendly reminder, this was the cheapest induction hob on Amazon.
I've heard quieter arc discharges.
This is doing a Corona discharge directly into the mulled cider. Right.
Do you remember the antenna?
This one doesn't have one apparently. Oh, that antenna! That antenna that I put in that was the NFC antenna for Amiibos.
What are Amiibos?
Amiibos
are they evolved amoeba?
They're the little Nintendo figurines you can get that have an NFC chip in them that unlocks bonus content in games.
Oh.
Or if you're now playing Metroid 4, it unlocks the background music. And I'm not even joking. On Metroid 4, on the upcoming Switch game, if you want background music in the open world area, you have to buy the $30 Amiibo for that.
Oh.
Otherwise, no background music for you. Or you can buy one of those natty little widgets on a Chinese website that is a little gadget that has all of the Amiibo pre-programmed into it and will emulate any of them. And you buy that for $10.
Whack.
Not that I would recommend doing such a thing.
Are you okay there? I don't know what that was.
That's my sarcasm dance. I'm not being sarcastic. Anyway.
I'm not sarcastic. I couldn't be sarcastic.
Right, I'll move this out of the way. Do you want to shove this under a bit closer so people can watch the mulled cider warm up? Action cam.
It's easy.
Yeah. And I'll put the screws into this in a minute. Let me get the thermal camera out. We need the thermal camera action camera. All right. How we doing? Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow. So yeah, the pan's getting hot. The cider is warming around the edges. Can we get? I'm going to get a point. All right. Our cider is currently at 24 degrees centigrade.
Oh, there you go. It's actually staying on.
Say that. Yeah. Because we've got the hob on like minimum, it just keeps cutting in and out. There you go. You can actually see it nucleating a lot more now. There's the really cool shot. It's still. This is still one of the coolest parts about owning a thermal camera. It's just pointing at random stuff. Yeah. Like if nothing else, just walking up to the sink and turning on the hot tap is just fascinating because it just looks like you're just pouring lava. So yeah. Stir to even the temp, but then we don't have anything to stir with. I'll swill it. Swill? Swish? Swirl?
Swoosh?
Swoosh? Swoosh right in there. Just swoosh.
I do my own sound effects.
Yeah.
All right, Jensen.
Gonna try and. I don't think this is helping. We could like get a spoon.
You can use it to see your circulation issues.
Yeah, we can for real. Okay, look, it's hotter than my hand is. Okay, right. What temperature did we decide?
What are we up
to? We're currently at about 35 degrees.
Good. Want to go a little bit warmer?
I was going to say, I was about to ask, do we remember what temperature we used to take it up to? Ethanol boiling, but oh yeah, actually, yeah. I was about to say...
Definitely well below 78.
Okay, yeah. I was about to be like, why are you looking up ethanol? But then, yeah, we don't want to boil off the alcohol, so that makes sense. We said 40 degrees?
I was going to say
maybe.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, we're almost coming up to that. But yeah, we've got some cold spots as well. We actually do need to... So hang on, you take that. I'm going to go get a spoon or something.
What are you? Oh, you're the mouse. I was very confused. That was just a glowing thing.
Oh.
Oh, that could so be a live wallpaper. You just sit there watching that.
All right, I'll give you the spoon and I'll take the camera again so I can camera view.
Yes.
Go closer to 45 so it'll cool down fast. Yeah, we're about 45 now. We've swirled it all around, so I would say that's ready.
Good.
Yeah, that's going mega now, so yeah, I would just turn that off. Good. It's beautiful. I'm going to take a picture. Here we go. I've got a new thermal camera coming as well. I've forgotten the brand name of it.
Is it a plug-in one like that?
It is, yeah. Because I get offers on thermal cameras now and then, but a lot of the ones I get offers on just look bad or boring. Where either they're just like, they're not offering anything that I don't already have, so there's just no selling point as far as I'm concerned. I'm like, I'd still recommend the P2 Pro.
Yeah.
Or a lot of the ones I get offered just look like they've got just really outdated sensors in them.
Yeah.
So yeah. However, I got an offer from one. It's a P3. It's not infrared though. It's some other brand. I can't remember.
Interesting.
But yeah, P3. But the interesting part about it is, number one, the advertised resolution is like 3 times higher, and I was like, I don't think you've got a resolution that's 3 times higher I don't think you've got a sensor with 3 times the resolution. I said to them, I was like, are you upscaling it to get that resolution? And they said, yeah, that's 3 times super scaling. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So they're upscaling it. So it's the same resolution as the P2 Pro, but Also, I want to see if like upscaling the picture is actually any good. You know, like obviously you're not going to get more pixels, but does that actually give you a meaningfully clearer image? But also the other bit that I liked about it is that it has an adjustable focus ring on it. So theoretically, the macro lens is now built in. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
£668.
Oh gosh, that's more expensive than I was expecting. Oh, there's a 382 on the right there.
That's more like it. 252. That makes more sense.
Yeah, good. I was going to say, yeah, I thought this thing was price competitive with because So yeah, 512 by 384, and I was like, I don't think they've got a sensor with that resolution. And yeah, it's upscaling, but I think I saw in a YouTube comment that the Infrared P2 Pro is discontinued. So I have a suspicion that the stock of these is going to dry up, and this is probably going to be the next one that I recommend. But yeah, I've got one coming in for review soon, TM, hopefully.
Interesting.
And I'm hoping to do a cool showcase video for that. So yeah.
Yeah. Very
You could do a short video about the special macro lenses that work for cameras. They need a certain type of glass. Yeah, I guess.
Isn't it sapphire or something?
Silicon carbide? No. Can't remember. Yeah, can't remember. I did have a note of it because I gave some to Muerto so he could DIY a macro lens for his thermal cam, which he successfully did with that lens plus masking tape, I think. But at any rate, he seemed to do it successfully.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing if anyone's gone the other way round, because I know that Infrared were looking like they were going to go the other way around and start doing cameras that effectively magnified the image, so they worked at a longer range.
Yeah, that would be useful because like once I've got the macro lens on for this, your working distance is like an inch away, which is it's fine if you need to look closely at the capacitor bank to see which one is getting hot, but yeah, it's close enough that you can't, like if you're trying to probe under there, if you're trying to probe on the spot that's getting hot, you can't get the probe under the camera anymore and stuff like that. So yeah, actually some magnification would actually be very useful. That sounds like they're actually starting to make products that are a bit more geared toward the repair stuff, because the repair business still seems to be a bit of an afterthought with a lot of thermal cameras, because a lot of them, a lot of their marketing material still shows like electricians using them to look at fuse boards and stuff like that, which I think is a use case. But yeah, certainly the repair business I think is a very big use case for them, and I think they are aware of that, which is why they're sending them to people like me. But yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, damn it.
Oh no!
I was about to say I'm going to chuck out my water, but I'm going to chug the water.
Oh no! These 400 mils of water, what will I do?
There's an Infrared P1 for much cheaper. Lower resolution, but more affordable. Don't know if I'd go lower in resolution. Because like
it was the thing about the P2 that made it such.
Yeah, the P2
lightning
Pro
in
came
a bottle, really. It was the fact that it had the new high-resolution sensor, and finally you were just like, oh look, I don't need the hybrid view to work out what the hell I'm looking at.
Yes, exactly that. If you go any lower in resolution, you're kind of going to need a hybrid view, like what FLIR uses, where it actually has a normal, a visible light spectrum camera putting outlines on things so you can actually identify stuff. Otherwise the resolution is so low that you just can't really identify stuff. What would be handy is a thermal camera you could fit on the microscope. I'm considering doing that. Once I get this new one, I'm considering doing that with either the new one or my P2 Pro.
Because we know that there's software you can use for that.
Yes, I'm actually thinking the difficulty is just getting it all up and mounted, and I'm thinking of getting one of them and mounting it to the side of my microscope and plumbing the cable into the microscope boom arm, and so then basically when I want to use it, I just offset the microscope slightly and look at the preview for what the thermal camera is seeing. Because obviously you can't have it in line with the microscope, but you can have it just like next to the microscope lens, so you could just offset, look at your preview on screen kind of thing. But the problem with having a fixed thermal camera like that is initially when you're looking for a short circuit, you need to be able to just do that around the board to like zero in on vaguely where it is. So yeah,
I think having it on the microscope though, just because your microscope does go reasonably high and it is a reasonably wide angle, will probably be okay.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's also like, it's not that this is particularly ritualistic, but it's still fun having the ritual of warming up the drink and then drinking it.
Yeah.
I like stuff like this. Like someone at the start was just like, just microwave it, and I'm like, yeah, but where's the fun in that, man? You know. Like, if we had a little gas stove or a camping stove or something like that, that'd be even cooler. And we could do that, but like, come on, we've got limits. I can't be arsed. So yeah. I tried the lowest end FLIR plug-in for the phone, it was crap. Yeah, like, again, the FLIRs have, if it has the hybrid view, then it's usable. Si's gone home now, but I gave Si my old FLIR that I had before I had the infrared, and that one was like 168 by 168 pixels. But because it had the hybrid view, it was usable. But also, you had to extrapolate a bit. I think it's actually in my big how to do voltage injection video. I think I was still using the FLIR when I had that, and there's actually a moment there where I'm showing how the hybrid view, the visible light outline, and the actual thermal view are out of alignment with each other because we're too close for the hybrid view to work properly. Because again, these products are not designed for use on electronics. They're designed to look at a panel on a wall that's a meter away from you. So yeah, that's the problem there, is even if you have the hybrid view, you still have to do a bit of work to decode what you're seeing. So yeah. Have we chatted about DDR5 prices yet? No, and unless there's any new news, which I don't think there is, I don't care. Because if there's no new news, the news is DDR prices are sky high, and they're probably going to be that way for the next year.
Yeah.
I don't think anything has changed. So, anyway, is the Wii controller working? I don't know, because I don't actually have the Switch here. I can turn them on, and oh, that one's not giving me lights. This one's doing a light dance when to scan for a switch. This one isn't, which is a bit worrying. Oh, the problem is you can't just plug these in by USB either. I definitely plugged it in. It's probably just got a flat battery. However, also we can't check if the sticks work anyway because I didn't bring the actual Switch with me. So yeah, I'll take this back at Christmas, and yeah, if it needs some tweaking on the day, then so be it. I'm probably going to take these extra sticks, I'm probably going to take with me and just do his other ones while I'm there. But yes, that's about it. Not a terribly exciting job, but also very straightforward. Those definitely feel better though. There's so much less play in those. Whereas the old ones, like, yeah, if you feel those modules.
Yeah, that's what I grabbed earlier and just kind of was trying to feel the dead zone.
Yeah, there's so much play in the stick there. So I think that's the giveaway that they're knackered. The new ones have got a little bit of movement in them, but nowhere near that amount. So much, lots of rattle on that. I do need to actually have a look at the Hall effect ones. Does anyone know, like, is anyone in the chat an expert on these? Does anyone know the good brand name for the Hall effect ones? Because when I was shopping for these on Amazon, I saw someone selling some that were claimed to be Hall effect, but they had a 1-star review and looked exactly the same as the regular ones. And I was like, I think you're lying. So I want to buy some Hall effect ones to check them out, but I want to make sure I'm getting actual real ones. Because also, like, at some point, I think I'm going to try putting some Hall effect sticks in my Quest 3 controllers, which I'm fairly certain use these same modules, because these are used in like the Quest 1 and Quest 2 controllers, and I would imagine they use the same ones in the Quest 3 controller as well. And if so, I want to try and put some Hall effect sticks in those, because drift is kind of an inevitability with those, and also just Hall effect sticks in my Quest 3 controllers would be cool.
Yeah, do they feel any different?
So I don't think they'll change your world, but like when we put Hall effect control a while back, we were doing a PS5 controller where we put some TMR sticks in them, which are, because like I think a lot of the quote-unquote Hall effect ones, they're not actually Hall effect. I think they use TMR, which is tunneling magnetic resonance. So it's a type of magnetic sensor, but not the Hall effect, which is a different type of magnetic sensor.
Right.
I think TMR is the technology they actually use. So we put some TMR sticks in a PS5 controller, and afterwards I had a feel before and after, and like it wasn't a blind test, but I was like, these feel very smooth. Like, they don't change my world, you know, I'm not blown away, but they feel very precise and very smooth to me. They feel high quality. I reckoned I could feel the difference. And I think when you're using, especially on these tiny sticks where you've got so little travel, having that really tight dead zone where you can make really small adjustments, I think that's where you'll feel it. And yeah, I don't think it's going to change your... It's kind of like going to like 120 hertz refresh rate. It doesn't change your world, but it's nice, you know.
I don't know, man. I feel like your eyesight, your eyes are broken.
True, that was a poor example. High refresh is worth every penny, but I don't know. You get what I mean. 60 FPS is still nice. Is still fine. High refresh is great. 60 FPS is fine, but high refresh is great. Yeah. I think Hall effect sticks are worth it. So yeah, TMR is more power efficient. That's interesting to know. Yeah.
That's cool.
Gillikit also supplies sticks for some of the 8-bit DO, so that's what I recommend. Oh yeah, so the 8-bit DO or 8-bit DO, I don't know, that's a third-party controller out that has magnetic sticks in that apparently is extremely good. So
that's
yeah.
Cool.
Gamers Nexus Rant had the highest F-bomb score of any he's ever done. Yeah, Steve has just stopped caring. So yeah. I'm curious as to how much that's impacted their, well, if at all, if that's actually impacted them. But yeah. Right, isn't the wine cooking too much? It's just keeping warm at the moment. However, also it's really loud. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at the audio mixer, and yeah, it's just really loud. However, now what we do is we turn on...
Oh, I thought you were going to say now what we do is...
Okay.
I thought that's what you were going to do, and I was just going to be like, okay.
Yeah, what I was going to do is just turn on the noise suppression. And that's one. And there's the other one. That's the light noise suppression. That hasn't cut it down by that much, actually.
I mean, it has.
It's brought it down a lot, yeah.
Because it was hitting the yellow.
No, not the fan noise. That was just me talking. But yeah, if I put it on the fancy one, let's put it on the high quality, and that will actually massacre the background noise. But I'm just curious, good quality. There you go. Now that's cut it. But I don't like having this amount of noise suppression because, like at the moment, you guys don't want to hear this thing going, so I've turned it on. And now it's just turned off, but whatever. We normally don't have the noise suppression up this high, though, because it silences all the desk noises and it completely isolates our voices. And, like, I want people to hear me putting down screwdrivers. I want people to hear the sound of the room as well and not just be our voices in the void. Now it's weirdly silent, exactly. Yeah, the voice is a bit unnatural. Yeah. That's exactly what. That's why we don't normally have the noise suppression up this high, because it's a bit weird. Now I'm just talking in your head.
Hello.
I don't have a joke.
Join us. The only silence is your thoughts. Buy my merch.
Anyway, let's turn that back on. Okay, right. I'm odd, I prefer this. Yeah, I thought you were going to turn off the noise suppression, but no, you went and did the merch thing. Okay, right. Let's turn that on and get back on topic. And then we just had it turned off. Yeah, low quality and then turn it off. Okay. Right, and we're back in the room now, everyone. So yeah, now I can put things down on the desk and you can hear me putting things down on the desk. Probably. Good. The Muffin Man.
You monster.
Okay. Right. We have we've mulled some cider. We've fixed a switch. We've kind of gone through our content fairly quickly. What's the timer on, just out of interest?
1 hour 28.
Damn. We're actually making good time. Cool. Preferred mechanical keyboards? I'm not sure at the moment. I'm quite a big fan of the Royal Kludge stuff, but I bought a Royal Kludge. Granted, it was the cheapest one on AliExpress, but I bought a Royal Kludge this month, and it was a bit meh. I haven't decided if I'm gonna what I'm doing with it at the moment. I don't like the switches in it. It's got linear switches.
Well, that's just a crime.
Yeah. So I think, and also like the bezels on it were just bigger than I thought they would be, so it just looks a bit chunky. And I'm like, it doesn't look as sleek as I thought it would.
Clearly, you need to put in some Jupiter banana orangutan.
Yeah, it is
Deluxe.
a hot swap, so I think I'm going to buy some new switches for it because I bought a hot swap keyboard so I could just change the switches if I didn't like them. So yeah, I need to buy some switches. Keychron are a cracking brand, and they've got some reasonably priced ones. You can get a Keychron for like $100, I think, can't you? You've immediately gone to some stupid ergo nonsense.
This is my keyboard.
Oh, do you have one of those?
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
You need the Keychron banana switches.
Okay. Pray tell, what is the banana switch then?
It's a slightly heavier tactile switch.
Yeah. Was yellow copyrighted?
I don't know. But it's a slightly heavier, slightly tighter tactile switch.
I was very unhappy with the German layouts on Keychrons. They contained errors. Really? What kind of errors? That's kind of wild that you could get that wrong. Stick to Cherry MX Brown Classic. I like Cherry MX Brown. That's one of my favourite switches. But obviously Cherry is dead. It's fine. MX Brown is fine. It's fine.
Graham the beige man.
Are you saying I'm basic?
I have no strong opinions on any matters or topics.
It's fine. So yeah. Although to be honest, banana is probably what I would like because I've got the my old keyboard, my Cooler Master that I modded. That's got the Durock T1 switches in, which are a ultra heavy tactile switch, and they're cool, but they're a bit too heavy. It's a bit of a typewriter, that keyboard. It's kind of funny.
Much.
Yeah. But yeah. So O and A umlaut?
Yes.
Is that one? Yeah. In uppercase and U umlaut in lowercase. Some symbols missing. Whack. And inconsistent labeling. Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got Gateron Browns in my Royal Clutch that I use on my workbench over there that I'm very happy with. I should have just bought another one of those, to be honest, for home.
What, the 100?
Yeah, the RK100.
My only problem with it is it's white.
I think there's probably a black one available.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, as I say, I'll probably keep the one that the one that I bought. It was sold under the Royal Clutch branding, but it's made by Wolffire, something like that. Which seem to be, the Chinese brands all seem to be melding into one another.
Oh no! What was that case?
Oh, Hellcrack.
Hellcrack, yes.
The Hellcrack case. God.
I'm selling you my Hellcrack.
Such a funny story. I'm going to tell the story of the Hellcrack case again. I was buying cheap computer cases, and I saw this computer case. It was cheap and it was presentable. I was like, that'll do. And the brand name of it was Hellcrack, and I'm like, well, that's fine. It's not got Hellcrack written on it, so whatever. So the case was delivered, and it was delivered with a badge on the front saying Hellcrack, and I'm like, I can't, and like I was building an office box. I'm like, I can't sell a customer an office computer that's got Hellcrack on the front of it. Like, what does this even mean? So I was like, I'm going to remove that badge. So, prying tool, lever that bad boy off. But the problem is like it's not just glued on. It's got a little hole in the case with a pin that the badge goes through to make sure it's centered. So after removing it, there was just a hole in the front of the case. So then I had to find some other badge, and I just found like some random MSI gaming badge or something that I could put over it. So there was an MSI gaming badge that was slightly less embarrassing than selling a computer that was branded Hellcrack. Royal Clutch, which, yes, I'm also not a fan of that brand name, but it's fine. Yeah, go on then, I'll have one. I'm not big on mince pies, hot take, but I'll have a hot pie. I'll have a mince pie, a hell pie, a mince crack. Create your own badge, 3D printed. I should probably do that these days. That's a good idea to do with the Anycubic. Also, someone said earlier on that they would get that they had got one of the Anycubics, and I think the one they listed was the one that they were talking about. Although, actually, I think it's a new release though, so maybe. Anyway, whatever. But yes, custom case badges would be cool. All right. Oh, here's one for you. Completely off topic. MacBook Air 2019, 128 gig factory reset, now running slow, battery not charging. Is it worth getting looked at? Probably just a crap battery. If you've got a local shop that can actually check if the battery is knackered, then that's worth checking. And then basically it just depends on whether you're interested in paying to get the battery replaced. General value on them looks like it's about sort of between 100 and 200 pounds. So yeah, kind of up to you. Not a huge fan. I'm not a big fan of basically anything pre-2020 with Macs now at this point. If it's not Apple Silicon, I don't really care. I will still look at them, but yeah, anything that is not Apple Silicon is not really relevant anymore. However, for the sake of what is probably just a replacement battery, worth a look, I think. Depends on if a shop can check the battery status.
Indeed. Yeah, it looks like the Intel 2020 13-inch MacBooks are 250 to 300.
Yeah, just buy an M1.
Yeah.
Because the
And
M1s
then
are like
M1s are 400.
the M1s are 300 to 350. If you shop around.
I was going to say, yeah, certainly just quickly scrolling that list, yeah, they were all 400 plus.
Yeah.
One was 600.
Dreaming. Yeah. I want the M2s to start coming down in price because I kind of want to move on to selling M2s instead of M1s. Because obviously, like the M1, it's still great. It's aging like fine wine, but also it's 5 years old.
And it's the first gen one. And that always feels dangerous with Apple.
Yeah, although the M1...
We're 5 years on.
Yeah.
And that's unusual for a first gen one.
Real, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, the M1s are still great, but the M2s are still just annoyingly too expensive. You're looking at like 450 to 500 for an M2. And I'm like, yeah. As soon as the M2s hit like 400 buy price, I think I'll start buying and selling those instead of M1s.
Yeah.
But I need them to come down just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mince pies equals crimes.
It's okay, you can leave now.
What are you going to do? Call the Christmas police?
What's that PCSWOs? Hobby Bobbies. What are you going to do? Write me a disapproving letter?
Tell me I've been a naughty boy.
You won't get anything from Santa's sack this year, then.
We need to change the subject right now. You could buy a faulty M1 for repair. Dangerous move, though. You know,
that seems to have gotten really uneconomical recently. Just because Dave Bob looks quite regularly, and people are trying to sell ones with busted screens for like £600 or £700.
Oh, for reasons unknown to me. Yeah, there's so many Macs on eBay with broken screens that are going for like £20 or £50 cheaper than one without a broken screen. I'm like, my guy, the replacement screen is £200.
Yeah.
What planet are you on where you think this Mac is worth anything at all with a broken screen? It is worthless once the screen is broken. Well, okay, it's worth like maybe £100 to £200 with a broken screen.
Yeah.
Being generous, you know.
Get faulty ones, desolder, and sell the RAM chips for profit.
Yeah. I've got a MacBook Air in at the moment, which I was going to sell, but it's one of the audio channels on it doesn't work, and it's not the speakers. So I need to talk to Dave Bob about that at some point and be like, what do you reckon this might be? So that's frustrating me, because that was going to be ready to sell. And I was like, that's fine, I'll just change the speaker. And change the speaker, no change. I'm like, balls. I can't sell it with only one working speaker, so that's now just sitting on the shelf until I figure that out.
From memory, from having the conversation with him, it's fucked, mate.
Really?
Apparently. I can't remember. I think he was talking about the M1 Max, where there's a thing with one of the audio channels and it's controlled by the T2 or something.
Oh, what?
Because Apple. And it's like, okay. Or like, if one of the audio amps dies, you also lose your SSD or something like that. And I was just like, what? I can't remember the exact context of the conversation, but yeah, there was just something about that on one of the MacBooks where it was just like, I don't understand this. It's so dumb.
Firephone, I see your question. I'm going to circle back around to that in a minute. That's going to suck then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like I might be keeping that one then, which is annoying. But like, I don't have a MacBook at the moment. My MacBook Air ended up getting dismembered for parts, so I started stealing bits to fix customer laptops, and then before I knew it, I'd sort of stolen enough that I was like, this just doesn't work anymore. So okay, you know. So yes, you just joined a cooking show, kind of. We've been drinking mulled cider. Right, Firephone says, when are you releasing the video about Windows 11? So it kind of got shelved, and I've been rethinking it again. Because the problem is I wrote like a 5-page script, like a 40-minute video that was going to talk about Windows 11 and stuff. But the problem is that, like, while I was recording it and such, there was kind of another wave of Microsoft doing Microsoft things. Like, you know the meme that's been doing the rounds of, like, the internet and how it's propped up by, like, one guy on an open source project, and there's like the Angry Birds of just like whatever the hell Microsoft is doing coming in, you know. So, you know, while the video was in production, and I'd edited the first 20 minutes of it. But again, Microsoft were just like, so here's all of our new vibe coding, and here's all of the latest rounds of AI nonsense that no one asked for. And at the same time, you know, I had another like 2 or 3 computers in with Windows updates that just failed to install. And I had no choice but to just pause Windows updates for a week and hope that it fixed itself, kind of thing. And it's kind of, it's in a state now where I'm just like, and I got to the point where I'm just like, it's indefensible. Like, what am I supposed to say at this point? None of what I say matters because of what Microsoft is doing now. And then I can't remember where it was. I can't remember if it was in YouTube. I think it was a YouTube comment on the video where I did the No Effort November when I said this video was coming up. I think there was a comment on that video where someone said Windows 11 isn't the problem, it's what Microsoft is doing to Windows 11. And I was like, yes, that's it. That's what I'm trying to articulate. But that also doesn't square the circle that if Microsoft is ruining Windows 11, then Windows 11 is still bad. You know, and so I've kind of, you know, where we're up to now is my current thoughts are, I think I'm going to refactor the video again, and instead I'm going to pivot it into instead of saying you're angry with Microsoft for the wrong reasons, I'm going to call it a lukewarm defense of Windows 11. Which is basically to say, when Windows 11 came out and the design concepts of Windows 11 are fine, and I will touch upon some of those things, but I'm not going to go into the granular detail that I previously planned. However, after that, I'm going to say the issue is that whatever I say Windows 11 was at the start of 2025, now it's just being driven into the ground at maximum velocity. And the other thing as well is that Dave's Garage did a absolutely cracking video about the problem with Windows. I can't remember what it was titled, the problem with Microsoft or the problem with Windows 11. And he summarized in 10 minutes the real problems. It was a really articulate video where he really summarized what the problem of Windows 11 was and the core issue of modern Windows not empowering the user and continuing to take away control from power users. Like I've said often that so many problems with Windows and Apple as well could be solved with advanced options, where just by all means simplify things, but have a little button that says advanced and put all the granular control in there. So then you can have a nice simple user-friendly interface, but power users, they can click that advanced button and then get all of that granular control, you know. And I think Dave's Garage, his video summarized this incredibly well in a way that I'm like, okay, this kind of just nullifies anything I can say. This is just better, you know. But also at the same time, I think I'm still going to do this video where I try and touch on some of the reasons why Windows 11 was okay, but with Microsoft's current direction with AI and their vibe coding, we are seeing a very visible worsening of the experience. The enshittification is real, basically. That's my opinion anyway. So I think I'm going to try and pivot the video into that direction. And also I think I'm just going to have to, instead of actually scripting the whole thing, I think I'm just going to have to do some bullet points, start the camera rolling, and just wing it. Because there is just simply too much to say everything. So I think I need to abandon the possibility of actually saying everything. Because I tried to do that and I ended up with a video that was going to be an hour long. which I think was interesting, but also I just don't think it's relevant anymore. That's the problem, is the script I wrote I think is interesting, but no longer relevant. But yeah. All right. How old is 10, the latest version ever? 22H2. So
Plus whatever updates it's had.
It's getting bloated now, though. When you do a Windows 10 to Windows 11 update, you'll see a big reduction in disk space usage. Windows 11 is starting to suffer the bloated side-by-side folder problem, because all of the patches and stuff that Windows Update installs gets put into the side-by-side folder, Windows SXS, and that folder just slowly increases in size as the operating system ages. Now, every time Windows gets a build update, all of those patches get rolled into the kernel, so the folder goes down again. But because Windows 10 hasn't had a build update since 2022, the side-by-side folder is starting to bloat. So yeah, we're now Windows 10 is, if you want it to actually be up to date, it's now getting a little bit flabby, unless you run a stripped out version. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to recommend anymore. I do want to do my Linux challenge though still, because I don't think Linux is necessarily the answer, and it's just not the answer for a lot of people, because, for example, if you play Valorant, you can't run Linux. So yeah, like if you're a Valorant player, then no, you're not switching to Linux.
Yeah.
I also think there is a very vocal minority of people who are saying, I'm going to switch to Linux, or you should switch to Linux, who are not actually running Linux and need to shut the hell up or actually switch to Linux. But I want to actually give it a try myself, so I can actually give an informed opinion on that and actually say, okay, I did actually try switching to Linux. But there's a lot of tech YouTubers who have tried this and have bounced off of it for various reasons.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that Linux is bad, but just to say, I think we're still not quite there, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. I'm looking forward to trying it though, because basically the same video challenge that I did for the B580 I would do for Linux, because I've got a really good spread of stuff there. So yeah.
Yeah.
From a non-gaming perspective, so daily email and internet, yeah, absolutely.
But also for non-gaming, you need a web browser. Everything is in the web browser, and if your OS can't run a web browser, it's not an OS.
Yeah.
It's a failure.
If you're non-gaming, then hell, you could run a Chromebook.
The answer to almost all people's actual problems is get a Chromebook, use a Chromebook. And most people hate that. But in actual fact, all they're doing is browsing the internet.
Everything's web-based.
And looking at some websites. That's all 99% of people are doing. We are the 0.1% of the 1%.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yes, at any rate though, if we are the power users who are doing oddball things, then yeah, I want to put that to the test.
Yeah.
One of my friends, one of my VR friends, has recently been trying to do a Linux test run. He installed it on his VR rig, and immediately had to bounce back because he couldn't get his Vive Pro 2 or Vive 2 Pro. Yeah. Couldn't get that working. It was stuck at minimum resolution. I forgot to ask him last night if he'd actually resolved that or not, actually. But yeah. And so that's the thing, if you run into a problem, then it is a compatibility issue. Then it's basically just game over. Do not pass go, do not collect £200, go directly back to Windows.
Yeah. It's the thing for me is still the fact of just the basic thing of getting 3D acceleration being so hard on all the machines I've used it on.
Weird.
With various AMD graphics cards that are supposedly the best supported across multiple distros. And it's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. all the guides say, oh, this is auto-installed. This is part of the OS. But then it isn't, because none of the 3D features work. And it's like, I don't know.
Well,
do I have to use a 10-year-old graphics card? If so, I'm not actually going to be doing anything in 3D.
this was an interesting problem that people seem to have with things like Bazite. Loads of evangelists, and this is why I think a lot of the vocal majority who are banging on about Linux aren't actually running Linux. Because you'll get people who'll be like, oh, use Bazite, that's for gamers. And there are a bunch of people who have tried that, run into some issues, Google search for solutions, and the solutions have been like, oh, you need to update the kernel or something like that. And then they're like, Bazite is immutable, you can't update it. So you lose.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. For this reason, when I do my Linux challenge, I'm not running Pop, I'm not running Bazite, I'm not going to run any of these fancy niche distros. I'm going to run Mint, because that is a basic all-rounder distro. Yeah. So sure, if I want it to run games, I might have to install Proton myself. That might not come preloaded. But the thing is, because it's an all-rounder system, whatever problems I run into, theoretically, I should actually be able to resolve.
Yeah.
And if anything, I think learning to install these things is part of the process.
Yeah.
I don't want a system that does it all out of the box, because then I won't learn anything. I think a lot of the tech YouTubers who are looking into Linux are going about it completely wrong, because they're using these niche distros that apparently just work out the box. And then, hey ho, surprise, surprise, that's not how this works. You're always going to have some weird ass problem. So yeah.
The only situation that I can see myself using any of this is if Steam releases a Steam machine that actually has performance.
Yeah. Possibly.
If they release a Steam machine that isn't slower than last year's computers, then maybe, if they release a high-end one, it is a fixed hardware spec, so the OS has to function on it because they're selling it with that hardware.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah. Katrina also said that the Insta360 cameras, which I use, don't have any Linux support.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, because I'm not planning on switching to Linux on like the computers in here. That's not the plan, but it does mean that in all, based on that, that's probably something I'm going to run into when I try and do my Linux challenge at home. I'm going to find that my webcam doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'll have a spare, so I can probably plug one in and keep going.
Yeah.
But that's that's likely something that will happen then. I'll run into that and be like, oh, my webcam doesn't work. My fancy webcam doesn't work, so I just lose.
Yeah. Do capture cards work in Linux yet?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's like, last I heard was they don't.
Yeah.
And
see, this is the thing. Like,
can't.
Dimitris says you need to research your hardware first. I don't have to research my hardware with Windows. Windows just works.
Yeah.
This is the thing. So this is kind of my point, and I'm still going to go into this. I'm still going to try my best. I'm going to use I'm going to give myself some advantages, like I'll be running an AMD graphics system. I'm not going to do this with my 4080. Katrina's just said that she spent a week troubleshooting NVIDIA drivers. I hear Linux and NVIDIA don't get along. So yeah, I'll be sticking a Radeon in there. Just to get to give myself a little bit of help. I'm not going to deliberately sabotage myself, because if I try and do the challenge with a NVIDIA graphics card, people are going to be like, yeah, this is a known thing, and I don't know, a lot of people have got NVIDIA graphics cards. So but even still,
if you believe John Petty research, 98% of people do.
It seems so hard to believe, but I don't know, man. But yeah, so this is the thing. I'm going to try it anyway because I want to get that experience. But yeah, I think this is the other reason why I'm going to do this Windows 11 video anyway, because I think one of the reasons is that everyone is saying like, oh, the answer is to switch to Linux kind of thing. I'm like, I don't think it is. There's not a doubt in my mind that Linux has its place and stuff like that, but I don't think, for a lot of people, that is just not a viable solution.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
But yeah. Just saw the LTT video where he had Linus Torvalds on. That was a really good video. Yeah, the LTT Linus Torvalds crossover video was really good. Really interesting watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt Dorr says, I likely won't have any issues with NVIDIA drivers. Sample sizes, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of my point for quite a lot of this, is just the fact of I know that my audio interface doesn't work on Linux.
Yeah. And it's just like, your audio interface doesn't work on Linux. You want to use your audio interface.
Yeah.
Therefore, I guess you're not using Linux then, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Also, if I remember,
if my cameras don't work, then I guess I'm not running Linux on that computer because I need the cameras to work, and I'm not changing my cameras.
And there is an unfixable issue, if I remember correctly, because of the HDMI forum not allowing it, that you cannot run HDR over HDMI or HDR VRR over HDMI on Linux because licensing.
Oh, that's annoying.
Which therefore means that I can't use my monitor.
Yeah. That sucks.
And it's just like, yeah, like I get it.
David, I have not used any of the DJI cameras, so I don't know, I'm afraid.
But yeah, but it's kind of a case of would need to have, very carefully selected hardware that is supported. And it's just kind of a case of, that's what I was saying about, like, if Steam came out with a high-end desktop, where obviously they were selling the graphics card, they're selling the processor, they're selling the motherboard, the ports on the motherboard have to work because they're selling it. If it doesn't, it goes back, it's faulty.
Yeah.
The graphics card has to function. If it doesn't, it goes back, it's faulty.
Yeah, that will drive solutions to these problems potentially. Yeah.
So it's just kind of a case of,
Just because there's no Linux driver doesn't mean that you can't write your own driver or hope someone else will. I mean, I'm not holding my breath, you know. I will simply write my own driver stack with zero programming knowledge. So yeah, this is the problem. Like, you're not wrong, but also that's just not real life.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just you know I can't install Linux on my workstation and just hope that someone releases a driver for the cameras that I need to use every day soon. You know, that's just not an option. I have work to do. I have videos to make. So that's not a solution, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a bit of a joke. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I was kind of hoping that was the case because, like, are you serious? You know.
It's fine. You just need to write a new kernel.
Ask ChatGPT to write the driver. I asked ChatGPT and it said you're a bitch. Anyway, yeah. I mean, also it'll be interesting to see what people do with the Steam, the Steam OS version that the Steam machine is going to run. Because there's a version of that kicking about. I can't remember if it's official or leaked or what. I can't remember what the status of that was.
No idea.
But you can get hold of the software that the Steam machine is going to run and install it on your own computer, as long as you have hardware that is like kinda similar.
Yeah.
Read AMD, you know.
Well, not just that, the same generation of everything.
Maybe I can't remember. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Because my friend, one of my friends has been setting that up recently. He's been talking about it. I think he got it running, but I need to say to him, like, is it working? How's that going? You know.
Yeah.
He installed it on just like one of his side computers as a bit of a, you know, as a project thing. No idea how that's going, but you know, again, you know, that might be interesting. Like if that works out, it could be interesting to see how that plays out. However, also of course, that's not going to solve the problem of but it ain't going to run Valorant. You know, apparently Easy Anti-Cheat works on Linux, so that covers a lot of bases.
Apparently it does, except for when it doesn't, and it doesn't except for when it does.
I see.
And it doesn't.
Fair enough. Some things...
To quote the ramble sentence from Wendell.
Ah, okay. Fair enough, yeah. I guess it depends on how easy anti-cheat has been implemented then, and perhaps how strict the implementation
It depends on
is.
how the developer has implemented it in that specific game.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which game it was. Oh, it's Helldivers 2. Apparently there's a Linux version, might have been Helldivers 2, there's apparently a Linux version of Helldivers 2 that doesn't work because of the anti-cheat, but the Windows version emulated under Proton works, including the anti-cheat.
Whack.
Or something, because I can't remember.
Yeah. CivLab, thanks for the $5. Just because Windows is a problem doesn't mean that Linux is the solution. Yeah. Then this is the sentiment that I want to try and portray in my lukewarm defense of Windows video, is that Linux is not a magic bullet to this solution. There's plenty of people who still either want to continue or need to continue running Windows. So what should they do? And I don't think rigidly sticking to some kind of de-bloated version of Windows 10 that was last updated in 2022, I don't think that's a good solution. I don't think that's viable. But also the problem is that in the current, and it's hard to say, because I've had 3 different computers this month that have come in with Windows Update problems, either blue screening after a Windows Update that didn't install, or a security update that just simply refuses to install. It just fails every time and tries to install every reboot and then fails every reboot, causing a reboot that takes 15 minutes, And so on that, it's just is it no surprise that people are just turning off Windows Update when updates like this are coming out, And yeah, I know that's a difficult problem to solve, but it's still a problem. But then on the other hand, my PC at home runs Windows 11 fully patched, no problem. Never misses a beat. I've been running Windows 11 all year. Never had a problem. Nothing. Nada. So I don't know what to recommend, because on the one hand, my computer's fine. I don't see the problem. But then also, other people's computers, I see them coming in all the time with problems. So,
But also, I don't see how that's any different to Windows 7.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this conversation is now a problem.
I guess,
if that makes sense, when that was such a common occurrence on Windows 7.
Yeah, and Windows 10 as well.
And to a significantly lesser extent on Windows 8, and even less on Windows 10. And it's kind of a case of, it's also the fact of, certainly almost every time I've had the spare time to dig into those issues, admittedly 10 years ago now, but it was always a case of, user has installed 9 antiviruses and 17 toolbars. These are the conflicts. Yeah. And it's just kind of a case of, because you haven't done that, you haven't had these problems. Because you aren't trying to install Ring 0 quote-unquote security software. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Fair comment, yeah.
So it's a case of, I don't know. My answer starts and ends with, I don't know.
Yeah, understandable.
But what I've seen is, and it's we've got 15 machines in the office, plus a laptop, and we've had no issues in the past 8 weeks on any of them. And it's kind of, if it were a big problem on lots of computers all the time, surely we would have had an issue. Yeah. But also at the same time, that's 15 out of how many billion?
Yeah, it's still a small sample size, yeah.
So it's just kind of I don't know, man.
Jamama, thank you very much for the $50. Much appreciated. Missed last week. Oops. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep us free. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Cheers. Yeah. Keep on rocking as well. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I think it's just simply, I think what I want to make a video, I think I've said this before, but still the thing that I want is for people to just try and take a slight step back and maintain a healthy skepticism instead of just a conspiratorial skepticism, where instead of saying heard are Windows 11 bad, they're actually looking at what problems are occurring and what of these are Windows 11's faults versus what of these are faults that all versions of Windows have always suffered from, because there's always been versions of Windows with Windows update issues. You know,
and also just a case of...
I think one of the reasons why this has gotten worse lately is that with Microsoft forcing in a lot of stuff that people don't want or care about, a la AI, that's caused a lot of negative sentiment, which is making people use that as a focal point for saying enough is enough. I think it's the straw that's broken the camel's back, you know.
Yeah.
And now every time we see a bad Windows update, we're like, okay, is this just because, look, there's a billion combinations of hardware, a Windows update is going to fail on some percentage of computers?
Yeah.
Or is this because Microsoft are apparently vibe coding like half of their code now?
According to whom? Because
lots of headlines say that they're vibe coding lots of stuff.
Because if they were, surely Microsoft would be coming out and telling everyone how much they're using Copilot.
Yeah, that's the headline. That's what Microsoft is saying. Yeah, we vibe code all of our stuff. That's how great our AI is.
But it's in none of the marketing material for like Copilot and stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I feel like
in fairness, I'm only seeing headlines. I've not.
I would just,
you know.
to me, if it were my product and so on, I would be doing it in a lot of my first-party advertising, saying, we build an entire operating system that runs the world on our AI.
Yeah.
Use us.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I don't know. It's just a case of I'm not seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is and this is why the Windows 11 video hasn't come out, because just like, how do you cover this, man? How do you? Yeah, I keep getting this close to just binning the video, and because I don't see how I can actually summarize it in a useful way.
Yeah.
But also, I don't necessarily have to solve the problem. I just want to talk about it, I guess. And I think I'm going to end up making a video that doesn't really have a strong resolution. And I'm not too much of a fan of that, because I prefer to make videos that provide some kind of takeaway. You know, I want people to be able to watch the video and be able to have something to take away from it. And this is a video which is very much going to end on a use it if you want, I guess, you know, which I don't think is extremely useful, but also just is where we're at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, I have seen no changes in the way my Windows 11 installation functions since I installed it. Like, all of the stuff that I do seems to do it stuff in the same way that it's done its stuff since I started using it, kind of thing. So, like, the changes that are happening aren't apparently happening to me. Like, I still don't have the new redesigned start menu that apparently rolled out to everyone, supposedly.
I haven't seen that yet. It has started popping up on a couple of customer laptops and a clean install I did the other day, though. So that is rolling out. And I think it's all right.
Yeah,
I don't hate
but it's
it,
like,
but
I haven't seen it, and again, none of the machines in the office have it, and I'm just like, I'm looking at as many computers as I can to try and see this stuff, and I'm like, sure, my sample size is still 0 in the scale of all machines, but it's the fact of, if I'm actively looking and can't find it, I can't have an opinion.
But
I'm just like,
at any rate, I don't know. I do agree, though. You know, we're talking about Microsoft forcing Copilot into everything, but also a lot of that is kind of small potatoes. We can bitch and moan about how Copilot is in Notepad now and how ridiculous that is, but also, like, come on, man, that's not stopping. I still use Notepad the same way that I've always used Notepad.
But it's also the fact of,
like, that hasn't actually.
If you're actively angered by it, you click on the cog,
you turn it off.
You scroll down and you click off.
But
so it's kind of a case of they've not removed that option.
Okay, but that that itself is a problem. Like, I'm this close to dropping Firefox because every time there's a Firefox update, they roll out some kind of new mechanic where I'm like, I don't want this, and I have to then switch that off. I keep having to turn things off that are bothering me, you know. And like, I don't mind turning a few things off to customize. I think that's a reasonable expectation. You know, like for example, because you know, I said this, you know, when people are just like, I don't like the way the start bar is now centered. It's like, you can change that. You can left align it. It's like, I don't like Copilot in Notepad. You can turn that off. Just turn it off. But the problem is when we're having to do this again and again and again and again, every time something comes out, it gets grating, you know. And that's where it's kind of wearing us down, I think. But also, again, none of it is really impeding me. I think, again, there's discourse on this because we're seeing there's previews and rumblings about Windows becoming an agentic OS and how, you know, Explorer is now going to be our AI assistant, and we just simply tell Copilot what we want our computer to do today and such. And that, again, is just making people go, ugh, can we not? You know, but also none of that has actually come to pass yet, and we don't know if it's going to shake out that way. Obviously, you know, like Windows Recall was a whole load of nothing because only a tiny percentage of computers are even compatible with Recall. You know, that was an enormous hoo-ha, and all turned out to be a huge nothing burger because no one has a Copilot plus PC. Yeah. You know, so yeah, that's the thing.
And then even then, as far as I'm aware, it's not even something that you can have without paying for the £200 a month subscription.
Yeah. I don't
know. The last time I looked into it was months ago, but it was a case of to have access to it, you had to have the £200 a month Copilot subscription.
I'm not sure with the case of yeah.
So it's a case of kind of, if that's the situation, it's like you're already paying £200 a month for AI.
Yeah, at that point, just what are you even doing anymore?
What is your complaint that your OS has?
Oh, Babu, you need the magic box to do your homework for you. Do you need Copilot to write your essay for you? God, I hate it.
The only things I've used Copilot for is saying, write a long, meandering, meaningless and pointless rant as a response to this email. Yeah. And then I've just copy-pasted an email in there where I was like, I can't even be bothered to express how little I care about your existence.
Yeah.
And it's just come back with like 4,000 words of gibberish. I'd just be like, perfect.
Yeah, without getting into it, I saw, because otherwise I'm just going to start ranting, but I saw a cracking quote which summarized it really well the other day. It said, if you couldn't be bothered to write it, why should I be bothered to read it? And that translates to just basically all AI generated stuff. If you couldn't be bothered to make it, why should I give a shit?
But that's my perfect use case for it. It's all of the situations where I can't be bothered to write it.
Yeah.
Where you are so meaningless and beneath me.
Yeah. Katrina says, that was the only thing I was ever good at, long and pointless rants, and now that's been automated. Yeah.
See, the difference is, though, Katrina's long and pointless rants would actually, be eloquent and make sense, and would, at some point, you'd kind of go, oh, I haven't even considered this.
Yeah. All right. The mince pies are good. They are mince pie-ish. But yeah.
They are very sweet.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. I'm a bit ambivalent with mince pies. I don't dislike them, but I'm just like, hell yeah, dish that shit up. Yeah. So them being a little bit sweeter is just like, nice.
I like the brandy ones.
Oh, yeah. I tried that out. I tried brandy one. Yeah.
And Si's just like, merch.
Welcome back.
And here is our AI-generated hoodie design.
Die. Terrible. All right.
Would you like some more alcohol?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a little bit. Yeah, let's reheat that and polish that off, shall we?
Put this on 9. done now.
Do you support the Aussie ban on social networks?
No, because it's age-gated.
Yeah. Implying just social networks should be banned.
Because it's age-gated? And not...
Actually, elaborate. Please elaborate.
The only way that you can verify that you're not under the age is by giving over your name, your date of birth, your address, your face. And I'm like, great. I don't want to give that to a social media network.
Yeah. Same issue as everywhere else then, I guess. Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of that's my issue with it. And if they'd kind of done it the other way around and just been like, nah, you're not allowed social media in Australia.
I don't think it's enough. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but my sort of 30,000 foot passing thought, whatever, is I'm not objecting to the I agree with the problem they're trying to solve, is that social media is rotting children's brains. It's rotting adults' brains as well, to be honest. But they're adults, and I guess they get to decide their poison. However, I think it's a ham-fisted, ineffective solution to the problem, because also like the exceptions to the law are extremely arbitrary, and there's a couple of things that I accepted which I would absolutely classify as just as brain rot as the things that are excluded. And also, like, there's issues where, like, YouTube is included in this. I'm like, I don't know, man, there's a lot of good educational content on YouTube that kids could be watching that they're now not allowed to watch. I think kids mindlessly scrolling through YouTube Shorts, probably a bad thing. But also, like, teenagers watching my content, learning electronics, that's me that just got banned. And also, I don't think my content is brain rot. But
also, what stops the kid just going to their mum, dad, auntie, uncle and saying, "Hi, can I use your Google account?"
Which is what's going to happen in a lot of cases. I mean, it's going to happen in a lot of cases, I guess. Not necessarily. Like, a lot of kids these days just have their own stuff.
Yeah, but what's going to stop them from going, I can't access
parent logs in. Yeah.
Mum, dad, sign into this.
Yeah. It's even worse with the adults because they get to vote real. Yeah.
When I am king...
Jerry said Dave from EEV blog was trying to teach his 14-year-old son to use a catchphrase for YouTube, and then he remembered he won't be able to use it in YouTube. Yeah. Real. So that's the thing, is just, again, I think there is a problem with kids mindlessly scrolling brain rot on social media. My niece is at that age where she will sit at a family, when we're at a family gathering, she will be just on her phone just scrolling shorts. Like, I don't know if it's YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram, whatever, short form video content. And I have to admit, I've not engaged, I've not asked her, what are you watching? Honestly, I'm just assuming that it's the standard issue brain rot, but even still, but also I think short form content is fundamentally brain rot, because even the most, okay, hang on a sec, I need to back up a bit. I dislike short form video content because even a really well crafted short, which is really information dense and it's just like, here's an element that you may not have heard of, here are its properties, here's the kinds of things it's used for, 60 seconds, and it's like, okay, that was a thing I just learned. Now watch 10 of those and tell me what the first one was about. You can't absorb information like that in a useful way, I don't think, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe people will disagree. I don't think you can absorb information in a useful way when just scrolling short after short after short. So I fundamentally just dislike short form YouTube content for that reason. And so
I think some of it, at least for me, and kind of this gets onto kind of the training we do at work.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of the training we do isn't to know what the answer is, or even to know what this is, but it's to know that this exists.
Yeah.
So when the comment comes up, you can go, oh, this is a thing that exists.
I will now
I
search
can
for
now
more
find
information.
out about the thing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't even know the thing exists, if you don't have the name of a thing, you can't research it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that
And
sentiment.
kind of all
yeah.
of that process to me.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot, because I say this to any work experience student when I'm showing them the basics of board repair, and they're looking in horror at the bench, going like, I've got no idea what's going on right now, and I'm like, you do not need to remember this. You just need to know that this is possible.
Yeah.
That's your only job right now, is to know that this can be done.
Yeah.
That is way too hot.
Well, it's cooling off now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's lava temperature. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So maybe I'm being harsh, but I'll play the devil's advocate and say, I think short form video content is trash for that reason.
Yeah. It's why. Just to
wrap
go
it up.
on that is a case of I really like that TikTok now allows up to 10-minute videos.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
And there's basically no 10-minute videos on there because there's no point.
Yeah.
But there are an awful lot of 2, 3, 3.5 minute videos.
Yeah.
That distill a big topic into, this is part 1 of the topic.
Yeah.
Here's the 3-minute video on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Part 2 tomorrow. Here's the 3-minute section of the topic. And kind of just, again, I'm actively looking for that content, so I find it.
Yeah.
But it's also the case of teach the kids to actively look for that content then.
And silence again. Yeah. So
teach users to manage their subscriptions.
Yes, this is a big problem. So I think that all of these tools can be a force for good. Social media can be a force for good. It can be used properly.
Yeah.
But the problem is that most of the time in the real world, it's not being used properly. So I agree that there is a problem there, but and I feel like something that tries to rest that ongoing scroll of 30-second shorts that teenagers just sitting there scrolling through for hours, just not actually seeing information but not absorbing information, just having just the vomit of content coming out at them but not actually learning or absorbing any of it. Or even if something is just like entertainment value, because it comes out so fast and is such high frequency, I don't even think you can gain any kind of enrichment from that. But whatever. Anyway,
it's like the case of the fact of.
Just to wrap up, though, So I think there is a problem there, and I encourage something that is making an attempt to stop that. But I think just banning 16-year-olds and under from using these specific apps, I don't think that's a valid solution. I think that's a knee-jerk sledgehammer fix that isn't solving the problem. And once again, as we've been saying, the real problem is teaching people or incentivizing people to do things and use things properly. Yeah. Don't ban people from using too much social media. Teach them how to manage the amount of content they're viewing and think about what they're viewing, and teach them how to try and curate that content to be a force for good. The social media isn't going anywhere. We need to teach users and empower them to use it properly. That's a lot harder to do, but I think that's the direction that we need to be going in.
My only comment is, and I'm going to change what you said to use it differently.
Okay.
Because properly infers a moral high ground.
Sure, yeah.
I will take a swig. Thank you, kind mulled wine distributor.
Yes.
Go. There we go.
You're getting the swoosh.
Yes, it's a fine bouquet.
A fine bouquet, you say. Very floral, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Did I see Radiohead at the O2? I did not. I've kind of gone off Radiohead a little bit just because Tom York has turned into a bit. Tom York's got some hot takes at the moment that I extremely disagree with him about. Suffice to say, he does not believe that a genocide is happening as we speak, which is a poor take, but I'll leave that there. Anyway, but yeah.
Excuse me? Anyway.
I will not...
Slurps loudly.
I will not elaborate. If you know, you know, and you should know, but yeah. Anyway,
No, I mean, I don't know about this person, and your speaking makes it sound like I don't.
Tom York is the lead singer of Radiohead.
Okay.
Yeah, and Radiohead...
Sounds like I don't want to know about this person.
Yeah, Radiohead have traditionally been a pretty progressive and generally good, and a pretty... Yeah, they've been a pretty progressive band. However, unfortunately, Tom York has got some poor takes right now that I extremely disagree with, and that sours my opinion of his art. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a bummer, but whatever. Let's see. Is the Christmas special episode next week? That's a good question. Where are we? We're on the 13th. Have we got one more week till... let's see. So next week is the 20th.
Yeah.
Saturday the 20th. Yeah, so we'll be about... I'm planning on... I'll be here next week. I'm assuming you will. And then, yeah. So, yeah, we'll be here next week. And then we'll be off for Christmas. And I will be back on... Yeah, I'd say we'll be here next week, and then
I don't know what I'm doing
on the 3rd.
Here.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So I don't know what I'm doing the 23rd or the 3rd.
Yeah, I'll be back on Saturday the 3rd. Even if you're not about, I would just solo, just to get the podcast rolling again, just so it's yeah. So we're actually only going to miss 1 week as how things play out. So yeah. All right. What is the Hall effect?
Wow.
So, Hall effect sensors. It's when you're in an open space and your voice echoes off the walls. But
No. That's timbre.
anyway, can you Google search Hall effect? Like, who's it named after? Because I'm guessing
It's named after
Mr.
Hall.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's what I'm guessing. I want to double check that. So it's a it's magnetic sensor effect. So Hall effect is a production of potential. Basically, it's the Hall effect is used to detect magnetic fields. Discovery.
Edwin Hall.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Edwin Hubert Hall is its namesake. So yeah. It's a method that's used to detect magnetic fields. Any sensor that detects magnetic fields, or just magnetic sensors in general, generally use the Hall effect. It is not the only way of sensing magnetic fields. It's just a very common one. So yeah, that's why everyone talks about Hall effect, because that's just generally how you detect a magnet. So yeah, they're often used in Hall effect. It can be used for sticks. So instead of having a potentiometer that's turning and scraping across a track and wearing out, you have a magnet on the stick that gets closer and further away from a sensor on 2 axes. So you're detecting the axis of the stick. And likewise, laptop screens, when you close the lid, there's a magnet in the screen that gets close to a Hall sensor, so it knows that you've closed the screen and to turn off the laptop, and so on. So yes, that is the Hall effect.
It's like, good, excellent. The article immediately mentions the Lorentz force. I'm like, good, goodbye.
This is too complicated. I will not go into any further detail. So, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How dare you promote a technology that has no wear and tear built in? That's the only reason why Hall effect sensors are not just standard issue in controllers at this point, I think.
Aren't they also just horrendously expensive per unit by comparison?
Maybe a little bit.
Because aren't those sticks per million like 4p?
Probably.
Hall effect sensors pounds.
I don't know wholesale prices or anything like that. Certainly, magnetic sticks are going to be a bit more expensive, but also, we know at this, Nintendo had lawsuits over these sticks, and they have to, I could have sent these to Nintendo and they have to repair them. There's extended warranty on these. I just can't be asked to send it to Nintendo. I'll pay £4 or whatever I paid for this pack of 6 and just do it myself. But the point is that Nintendo have had a lot of heartache over this, and obviously, like, there are umpteen 100 billion Xbox and PlayStation controllers with stick drift, and Quest controllers with stick drift. You know, stick drift is a major issue that is completely undeniable. That any person with a brain would say, you know what, I think we'll pay a little bit extra for the sticks that don't drift. And the fact that they're not doing that, that is the time where I'm just like, okay, that's built-in obsolescence. You have a solution to this problem and you are deliberately not implementing it. And I do not believe that it's going to break the bank for you to implement it. You know, I don't use the term built-in obsolescence lightly. Because it's, you know, built-in obsolescence is a term thrown around by idiots in a lot of cases. But there are some instances where you're like, no, that's the only explanation at this point.
Yeah.
You know, this is an extremely prolific and well-known fault to which you have a solution for that is not that expensive to implement, and you are willingly not implementing it. Like, for example, you know, the PS5 controller suffers stick drift. Those controllers are like, what, $70? They're like 60 quid, I think. You know, it's a £60 controller, man. I don't care if the stick costs 20p instead of 4p. Put in the expensive stick. What's wrong with you? You know. So yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just, I don't use built-in obsolescence lightly, but this is definitely a case where I'm just like, there's no excuse for it now. It's why I'm really excited about the new Steam controller and the Steam frame all having Hall effect sticks by default. I'm like, yeah, that's because Valve get it. They don't want a stick drift problem. So yeah, it feels, you know, I think this is, you know, their stuff is going to be a little bit more expensive than people want it to be, but I think that's going to be because they've actually built it properly.
Aha, there we go. A formula I reference regularly but continually forget. Which no one will understand.
Okay.
If B minus open brackets P times L close brackets less than 0, negligence.
I see.
But it's basically talking about if the cost of implementation the cost of implementation of a technology, a change, a process, versus the cost of an outcome times the likelihood of the outcome.
Yeah.
So if the cost of implementation across an entire product range, what have you, is less than the cost of the failure, the injury, the liability, you are therefore negligent.
Yeah.
If the cost of implementation is greater than that, you are not negligent.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of that and also the formula from Fight Club.
Yeah.
If you're so for those of you who haven't seen Fight Club, in Fight Club, the main character, the Insomniac, he works for a car company, and his job is to apply the formula. And basically, he goes out and looks at car crashes, and cars that have crashed due to a failure in the car. And basically, he applies a formula. So where the car has failed, he applies a formula that determines whether it is cheaper to fix the problem or just settle out of court with everyone whose car explodes in flames because of the failure. And the point is, there are many instances where their cars fail, catch fire, crash, whatever, due to a known fault that they are willingly not fixing because it's cheaper to just pay off the families of the victims than it is to fix the problem, which is obviously the hyper-capitalist dystopia that is part of the book's proposition. So yes. Right. Back reading some of the other things on chat. Where are we up to? 2:35. Yeah, we'll probably wrap up soon, I think. So I'm going to finish this, but yeah.
I'm going to finish this and then I'll open another bottle. No, Graham, that's what happened last night.
Yeah, Firefriend says, was the B580 video all scripted? Yes, it was. Yeah. The B580 video was, yeah, it was pretty much all scripted. I used it, I used the card for about a week. Well, actually a bit over a week, about 10 days. Are you wondering where it is?
Yes,
it's now,
because it was here.
It's now in the YouTube rig. It can come out of there. I've just put it in there in the meantime.
No. It was purely the fact that it was here and then it was over there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it was just making sure that it is in a known location. Yeah. I pulled it out because I want to sell the 3060 that was in there. Anyway, yeah.
It's in a known location. I've sold it. It's in a customer's computer. Just like that DDR5.
Yeah, I used it for about 10 days and then I wrote the script, basically. So yeah, and a lot of the capture footage was taken after recording everything. So I used the card for 10 days, wrote the script, recorded the script read, and then while I was editing that, I was grabbing B-roll footage. I was like sort of getting to a section being like, I need B-roll of X, Y, and Z here. So then I would go and get that B-roll footage and then put it in. So yeah. So yes, pros and cons with editing video. Sorry, with scripting the videos. Yeah, it allows me to be a lot more information dense. I can deliver the same content in 10 minutes that would take half an hour for me to ad-lib.
Yeah.
But it also does just make the video a lot more complicated from a production standpoint. It's really easy to just start rolling the camera and just talk, but also talk in one non-monotonous voice, moving from topic to top. So yeah. Oh, Civilab says, are you planning on playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Twitch? Not really. At some point I should probably have a go at Baldur's Gate. The chat has stopped working for Caradog. Yeah, at some point I should try it out because everyone's just like, oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is really good. And I'm like, I'm sure it is.
It is very good.
Yeah.
And you've played D&D.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm just, yeah.
So all of the mechanics will make sense to you?
Yes, but also I think I'm not super into I'm not really into
story games.
Yeah, high role play level games, I guess. Certainly not to stream, just because they are extremely time intensive. Yeah. You know, if like for example, if I were to start a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough on Twitch, I'm in for 100 hours, aren't I? Really?
If you want to go fast.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you want to go going fast in 100 hours, just like yeah, like the longest games I've done were.
It is a game that is cleanly cut into 3 acts, and you could stop after Act 1. Then do Act 2, stop after Act 2, do Act 3, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and cycle in another game and so on in between.
Yeah.
Because whilst the story is contiguous, they are separate areas, separate things. So you could do that. And also it's, I would imagine, like if you didn't want to turn every stone. No, stone every turn. That's what I meant to say, is the spoonerism.
Okay, yeah.
So you leave stones unturned, but if you stone turns,
I get it. It's very
you
clever.
get burns. You get birds, because bird in the hand's worth to anyway. You could probably go through the game in about 65 hours. Yeah, I would imagine.
I guess. Yeah, that's still a trek. I've just spent that long on Silksong and didn't 100%. And when I was finishing up on Silksong, I had hit that wall of I'm about done now. I've loved the game. I've loved it there being so much to do, but we're 60 hours deep on this game now. I'm ready to move on. But also because it is cleanly split into 3 acts. Yeah, you could do Act 1 and then see how you feel, Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'll think about it. The problem is again, is just like I'm just not super into RPGs. So there are a couple of exceptions to it, but yeah, there are exceptions. I don't know. Yeah, it feels incorrect to say I'm not into RPGs. That's not correct, but there's certainly long form narrative heavy RPGs. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just not super into them. I don't think they're bad or anything. I'm glad they exist. I'm glad people enjoy them. I think if I was to start a big game, I think my next big endeavor is going to be Disco Elysium. I do want to play Disco Elysium.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
so.
because that everyone is just like, oh, it's a masterpiece, etc., etc. And it's also one of those games where watching someone play it blindly is one of those like. Everyone who loves Disco Elysium gets to experience it the first time again by vicariously watching the streamer, you know. And lots of it. There's it's one of those games where you leave a lot of yourself on the table by letting people watch you play Disco Elysium and what you think about things and how things make you feel and what decisions you make and stuff like that. And I think that's probably the direction. I think that's what I would want to do. So yeah. Disco Elysium got bought by a scummy company. Yeah, it sucks hardcore. Yeah. I would not be interested in a sequel. But I do want to play the game, though. So, yeah.
Oh!
What about Gigasword? Yeah, I'm playing through Gigasword at the moment.
Oh, yeah. No. I now recognise this game. Yes. Ugh.
Yeah, you got 105 hours on Cyberpunk without even getting into Phantom Liberty. Wow. I want to play Cyberpunk at some point, but again, like I just don't know if that's one I could stream. I guess I could say, you know, we're going to do 10 episodes of this and just see how far we get. And if I'm still enjoying it, I'll carry on playing it off stream, but yeah.
Are you okay there, YouTube Studio?
Oh, yeah. Also, the preview is frozen as well. It looks very confused.
Bless you. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going home. Goodbye.
Let's see. Dwibbit says I want to play Age of Empires V1. It's not that great. Learn Age of Empires 2. If you want to play Age of Empires, learn Age of Empires 2. Is my advice. Because Age of Empires 2 is still relevant. Well, it's the only one that's relevant, and is the best balanced version of Age of Empires. So yeah, Age of Empires 1 is basic, really. A while back, because I grew up with Age of Empires 1, and a while back, my friends and I we got Age of Empires 1 Definitive Edition, and we were like, yeah, we're going back to year 7. Playing in the computer lab after school, and we played a game of it and we're like, yeah, let's boot up Age of Empires 2. 2 is the best one, just end of story. So,
I certainly want to replay a game of Age of Empires 1 at some point, just to be like, oh yes, this is where we kind of came from.
Yeah.
Just to kind of remind myself of that.
There is some nostalgia to it, but yeah, you'll get your fill within like 1 or 2 games.
Oh yeah, no, but that's what I mean in the sense of just play a match and just be like, oh yes, I remember all of this and I remember spending the time on this. This is what I remember, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, certainly all the sound effects and stuff will make you go, oh, core memories, you know. Yeah, like everyone makes Wololo jokes, but like Wololo isn't even in. You can get a mod for Age of Empires 2 that adds the Wololo back in, but still, yeah. And like, there's a mod you can get that makes all of your infantry units do the hey ho when they get created and stuff like that. Again, we'll just core memory unlocked.
Dear.
So yeah. Right. I still think I should start Skyrim again. You can buy it again for the Switch 2. Todd Howard got us all again. They have re-released Skyrim again for the Switch 2, and it runs at 30 FPS. And I'm not even joking. And it's like, how?
It ran at 30 FPS on the PlayStation 3.
Tony Stark! Cave!
Box of scraps!
Ah! Nice solid 30.
That's how I described my age a few years ago.
I'm still in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s. All right. How can the Switch 2 not do 60? Yeah. I don't know, man. I was running it at 60 FPS a decade ago. 10 years. I was running Skyrim at 60 FPS. How? Right.
Anyway, on that unhingedness, let's go home.
Yes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week with something else. Last one for the year. Yeah.
With more mould activities.
Yeah, we'll probably be mulling some more cider or the wine. I guess we'll do the wine next time because we did the cider this time. And yeah, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifts, people. And yeah, we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Au revoir. Have fun.
Oh,
Have
I've got
a beautiful
hiccups now.
time.
Toodles.